What up, Doe? What up, Doe? What up, Doe? What up, Doe? Yo, let me know if you can hear me real quick. Let me know if you can hear me real quick. But your boy is back, man. We in the building, man. It's been a minute. I know. Biz Nation looking at me sideways, like, hey, man, where you been at, bruh? You feel me? Yo, it's been some stuff. It's been some stuff, man. But we are here. We are back in the building, man. First of all, before we get started for real, because I haven't been on a live in a minute. I admit that, you know what I'm saying? So definitely want to, express the fact that I understand that it's been a while. However, shout out to my man KP already showing your boy birthday love. Happy belated birthday, big bro. I appreciate you, dog. If you listening, I know you said you was driving in traffic. You said you driving in traffic. You hear? He said, I'm in here. Okay, good. He said, I'm in here. What up, though, broski? What up, though, man? When I say I appreciate you, bro, I definitely appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for just showing your boy love, man. I mean, already showing your boy love, man, and I appreciate it so much, man. I wanted to come on Tay-Biz TV on the channel. I want to have a nice chat with you all. It's been a minute. We're gonna talk about a little something and all that kind of good stuff. A little quick little update on some stuff, but I definitely wanted to just share my experience being away. You know what I'm saying? It's been a minute since I've done a live, and so I wanted to come back showing love, man. You know what I'm saying? Showing love and also sharing some love, man. I actually went on vacation while I was gone as well. I had a combination of some personal stuff with family and also some stuff with with work, my work schedule. And also I had scheduled a vacation at the last week of the month of December because my birthday is on December the 30th. And so I wanted to take a vacation, man. I want to take a vacation. I haven't taken a vacation in a couple years, and I wanted to go back home, man, to Detroit. So this is an homage to Detroit. You feel me? I went back home. I went back home to see my people. I went back home to see my pop. I wanted to see him. Some things happened with him in the month of December, and I had to stop what I was doing at work. And the next day after work, I had to shoot straight to Detroit and check on him. You know what I'm saying, and be there with him. And then that same evening, I had to come back home because I had to finish our work. And then I went back to Detroit for vacation because, man, look, I needed it, man. I needed it. You know what I'm saying? KP said we need to take a vacay every once in a while. That's a fact, bro. That is a definite fact, man. And so I wanted to do that. Wanted to take a vacation. Wanted to get my mind right, get myself together, man. I wanted to also in a sense, I wanted to definitely just recoup and recharge, for the new year, get myself settled, get myself together, you know what I'm saying? And I went to the doctor already, you know what I'm saying? And me and my doctor, we got a plan for this year for me, as far as my health, just getting better at that. Want to lose more weight, want to be able to just really just kick butt with that. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just like super focused right now. Super duper focused right now. You know what I'm saying? And so I definitely wanted to share some love from Detroit, man. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, I've been to look, got my Verners. This is a Detroit thing. If you in Detroit, all right, all my people know, all my Detroit folks know. If you in Detroit, we always got this. We got some Verners. You feel me? It's a ginger ale, man. It's you ain't never had nothing like this before. I'm telling you, never had nothing like this before, man. So, but again, man, I went back home, wanted to show love, man, to my people, and I also wanted to share with the birthday. Okay, Connor Vanderwright, talk about my Steelers beat y'all. Like, yeah, I know it's okay. I know y'all beat us. It's all good. It's all good. But y'all got to see y'all got to see some people though. You know what I'm saying? You got to see somebody in this wild card weekend. We might get into that a little bit too. You know what I'm saying? We definitely gonna get into that a little bit too, man. But I want to shout out the again, Mod of All Minds, chill in the building, saying what up, though, saying we back. What up, though, chill in the building. Connor said the Steelers Texans game on my birthday, so hopefully a little luck. Well, absolutely, man, absolutely. Look, I don't listen. Pittsburgh has had their ups and downs this year when it comes to their offense. I mean, again, you had the situation where, speaking of Detroit game, that's the game where your boy hollered at my man's in the stands, you know what I'm saying, and touched him or said something to him or whatever the case may be, and definitely wanted to, DK Metcalf is not the type of person to really create problems. So I found that to be very problematic that a Detroit Lions fan would actually do that. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't really, I wasn't cool with that. It definitely took, some investigating about it, but at the same time, whatever happened, it had to be warranted because DK Metcalf never does that. He has never done that. So I don't know what particularly happened, but at some point, they had to suspend him for 2 games or whatever, and that kind of kicked the Steelers in the butt as well with their passing game. However, they were still able to beat the Ravens. They were able to beat the Ravens. You know what I'm saying? And so this is absolutely like wow. Again, John Harbaugh is no longer with Baltimore, as you can see, for a plethora of reasons. I bet, but definitely because you lost to the Steelers. Oh, that's 100% fact. The AFC North was weak this year, from top to bottom, and you could not beat the Steelers after they had a quarterback issue over the offseason. They've had injuries on defense as well because your boy had a collapsed lung, TJ Watt, surgery, came back to play in the very game that you lost, right? Hey, man. They had to let him go. 18 years, though. 18 years, man. But they definitely had to let him go. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's what I heard. It says DK Metcalf said the fan called him by his full name to that punch was out of pocket. Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, again, he had to be reprimanded for what he actually did. But it seemed like some provocation was involved as well, too. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Chill, is said new member. Of course, you're a mod. I mean, you've been with your boy for a long time. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to the new member Chill in the building. Everybody put Chill in the chat real quick. For those that are still watching with the boy. So look, we're gonna get into something real quick, man. I know I want to talk your ear off too much. I know a lot of people how they are when it comes to YouTube channels, man. They like, I can't stand for people to talk on their own channel, which I don't understand. Okay, I don't understand. This is what we're doing. This is what we do. Okay, it's like having any other talk show host or any other radio show. They're going to talk. They're going to have something to say. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. DK Metcalf is a crash out and needs to keep his hands to himself. That's facts. Definitely, that's facts. I definitely agree with that, man. All right. So before we get into my time away and my birthday and all that kind of stuff, again, I turned 43 years old on December 30th, man. And I was able to go back home to Detroit, and I was able to spend some time with my family and with my friends. You know what I'm saying? I live in Indianapolis right now. I moved here in 2019. And I have been, and I'm a Colts fan too, which is the crazy part. Even though I'm from Detroit, and of course, I was a Lions fan, but that 0-16 season, it really hit me. Ooh, it hit me bad. It hit me so bad I had a little bitterness towards the Detroit Lions. You know what I'm saying? But in the midst of all that, I've always been a Colts fan. In the early days of Peyton Manning being drafted and everything, I've always been a Colts fan. So, but since Detroit was able to win a division, okay, since Detroit was able to win the division a few years ago, I'm like, okay, I will be a little bit more supportive of my people. I see the direction you're going in. However, when I saw that they went to the NFC Championship and lost, I'm like, this window about to be closed quickly. And I kept telling people in the D, I'm like, look, the window about to be closed quick. Y'all over here not seeing what's going on. It's about to be closed. You got to strike where the iron is hot. You can't lead. You can't have a lead in the NFC Championship and then you lose. Then the year after that, which was last season, they lost in a division round against a rookie quarterback, Jaden Daniels. And then this year, they didn't make the playoffs at all. Okay. That's a decline. All right. That's a decline. Shout out to Steph JK in the. It's been a long time. Happy B-Day. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for the birthday love in the building. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate Steph is in the building, y'all. Oh, this is a good night. This is a good night. This is an actual good night right here. We got Chill is a member, even though she's a mod. She's been a member in mine for a long time. We got KP showing your boy love with the super chat. Look, I'm having a good time already. I'm having a good time already. All right. So I want to leave it up to you all right? Because I know we could talk football and all that kind of stuff, and we could talk, all that kind of stuff. But the OG crew is in the building. Exactly. The OG crew is in the building for sure. Look, do you all want to start with my time in Detroit? I got some pictures and videos and all that kind of stuff. You want to start with my time in Detroit, or do you want to get into the Mickey Stines case real quick? The last update that we got, and so a couple motions that I want to read and go over, and also I want to watch this video of the things related to that as well from Court TV. Or do you want to start off with Mickey Stines, or do you want to start off with my vacation in Detroit, or how you want to handle it? Y'all let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to start off with the Detroit vacation. Put a 2 in the chat if you want to start off with the Mickey Stines update. Abundance is in the building. All my OGs is in the building right now, man. All my OGs is in the building right now. Okay. Abundance is in the building. I feel like we at home. We at home, y'all. All right. We at home. We are at home. Okay. We at home. It looks like everybody want to start off with the Detroit vacay. Got the that Detroit Verners, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. All right. Okay. So I think we're going to go ahead and start off with the vacay. All right. Start off with the vacay, man. Okay, here we go. All right. So during my vacation, man, I had a blast. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me pull up an image real quick. Because I went back to Detroit and I had a good time with my fellas, man, with the homies. All right. Now, FFS in the building. What up, though? I know, hey, I know I'm in the pocket now. FFS coming over here, man. I know I'm in the pocket now. What up, though? What up, though? Shout out FFS, man. Appreciate you coming through. We are just going over some Detroit vacation stuff that I had going on. Again, I wanted to share this with you all. Give you just a little bit of insight on me. You know what I'm saying? I don't really talk about my life in personally. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm back home. Now I'm back in Indy. I went to Detroit last week of the 25. Took a vacation leading up into the new year. Wanted to kind of like recharge, reset, and regroup. And so I turned 43 that week. You know what I'm saying? And so, but I wanted to share a little bit about myself too. You know what I'm saying? I know you guys know that I'm a true crime enthusiast. I wouldn't call myself a connoisseur such as Cat Knott Williams, and I know I'm not a lawyer, but all these other giants in the industry. You know what I'm saying? but I am an enthusiast, man, and we use common sense. We use our common sense for the most part to try to figure out what's going on with these cases. But I don't never really dive into my own personal, life like that. But I wanted to share a little bit of myself with you all, and also wanted to show you just a few spots that I went to, um, and I want to start off with my childhood home. Now, my childhood home is going to be also in the slide presentation that I got to. I tried to make a quick slide. I don't know if it went the way it's going. It went the way it went. You know what I'm saying? But I was trying to hurry up and do so. I had to work today, and I was still trying to be creative at the same time. I don't think it. I don't think it jailed all the way through, but we gonna make it work. Um. So I want to start off with my childhood home where I literally grew up. Okay, where I literally grew up. All right. So I'm gonna move myself on the side. All right, this is my home where I wasn't born here yet. I think I was born I was an infant in a different home, but we moved here when I was a child. Okay. And I still remember the address to this house. Okay. I remember the zip code and everything to this house. I have so many memories in this house. And one memory in particular, I'm going to share. Okay. You see, on the left side of this picture is a little driveway. And in the back, we always had a basketball room. Man, I can't remember how old I was, man. I think I had to be about 7 or 8 years old, but there was a neighborhood bully in my neighborhood called his name was Mario. I'll never forget this. And Mario, all right, Mario, um, I mean, he bullied everybody. He bullied everybody. And at that time, I wasn't the type of kid to be like fighting a lot and starting stuff or trying to, defend myself. I was a little bit of a softy, a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Growing up, you know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. And so this dude will always tease me, always talk about me, always want to fight me. And I'm telling you right now, my grandmother this particular day was babysitting me, right? And my grandmother, Dorothy Dean, God rest her soul, this boy came to my house and wanted to fight me. And my grandma said, Asante, you better fight this N-word, right? and I'm like, oh, grandma, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. She's like, no, you're gonna fight him right now. And she grabbed a belt and we went out. She grabbed me and we went out to the side of that. We went to the side of that house. And she said to me, because we were fighting, we started fighting, and I was missing a lot. I ain't gonna lie, I was missing a lot. And every time I missed, my grandma would hit me with the belt. She was like, every time you miss a punch, I'm gonna whoop you with this belt. And I'm telling you, after I realized what was going on, man, I started tagging this dude like crazy. I'm telling you, I was going crazy on this dude. And lo and behold, me and him became cool after that. It's crazy how it was. See, back then, it wasn't we wasn't trying to shoot each other, all that kind of stuff. But me and him became good friends, man. And he had a basketball room in his crib, and I had a basketball room in my crib. And we used to go, to each other's house and stuff. We played football. We had sideline tackle. All this kind of stuff happened right here at this house. So many different things in this house that happened, man. I remember falling down them steps. I remember all kind of stuff at this house. Shout out to Cat, not Williams in the building. What up, dude? Yeah, one of the giants that I mentioned in the industry. A man, just a wonderful soul, beautiful person. Definitely a true crime connoisseur for sure. She's the connoisseur. I'm the enthusiast. She's the connoisseur for sure. But thank you so much, Kat, for gifting 5 Tay-Biz TV memberships. I definitely appreciate it. If you got a membership from Kat, please, if you green gang, please put Kat in the chat. I appreciate it so much. I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much, Kat. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Kat said, "Be here soon." Sorry, I thought we were starting at 7. It's okay. Listen. I appreciate you. I appreciate you right now. All right, for where you at right now. Steph JK said, "I love your granny so much." Me too, man. I miss my grandma. But I'm telling you, I had to fight. I had to fight. I had to fight on the side of that house. And she wasn't taking no for no answer. And I'm telling you right now, me and him, I had to tag old boy, man. I got him good too. I got him good too. And then we had to apologize to each other. The parents didn't like that. We had to apologize to each other. And then we became homies, man. Me and Mario grew up and became friends after that, man. It's crazy. It's crazy how things happen. All right. Also, I want to share this photo right here too in Detroit. This is my boy. All right, to the left. Now that's me in the middle, of course. I'm the only bald head person right there. Well, my man's in the hat. He bald head too, but he got his hat on. That's my boy Rollo. My boy Rollo in the hat with the hat on. That's my boy Rollo. I've been knowing him for it's about to be almost 15 years, I think. But I think it's about to be it's over 10 years for sure. Then my man to the left with the same color, that's the polo, his polo button up. This is my boy since high school. All right. His name is JB. We call him JB the Gent. All right. These are when I talk about the Mailroom Network, these are the guys that I'm talking about. All right. These are the guys that I'm talking about. Thank you, Steph. I appreciate it. She said you look great, Tate. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate the compliment. These are my fellas. These are my fellas, right? Now, I was at this crib. This is my boy JB's crib. I'm at his crib. We was all over there. I think this is like the first night this is the second night because this is on a Sunday, I believe. And we went to his house. We was over there playing games, all that kind of stuff. He got a nice setup, man. Got a real nice setup with his games and stuff. And so we were sitting there chilling, and his lady is the one that took the photo of us, right? And so in the fashion that we always are in, you're going to have a laugh with us. All right. You're going to have a laugh with us. Yes, sir, KP. These are the guys. These are the Mailroom Network is the three of us. Okay. And we do have our own YouTube channels called the Mailroom Network. I talk about it all the time. These are my guys. JB the Gent to the left, Rollo the Don to the right with the hat on. Now, we at the crib, and this is like we just having a sip. We just talking about life and the brotherhood and stuff like that. And then we get into a conversation about vegan food, right? And so I personally, I have no problem with vegans. All right. There's only one problem I have with vegans, right? And because I actually tried being a vegan before for like 6 months, and I was like, not my cup of tea. The only problem is they put vegan in front of meat dishes when it's not meat. For instance, like vegan hamburger or vegan chicken tacos. These are chicken tacos, but they're vegan chicken tacos. I'm like, yo, stop playing with me. You know what I'm saying? I know that's jackfruit. All right. This is a jackfruit taco. This is not a vegan chicken taco. All right. Vegan nuggets. Like, I don't understand. These, you know what I'm saying? And they know they talking about chicken, or they know they talking about steak nuggets or whatever. Vegan steaks. Like, stop it. All right. Just stop it. Now, I was taught, they was asking me a question about vegans and I was doing an impression of Denzel Washington, his voice, talking about how they're trying to confuse people, saying vegan chicken tacos instead of just calling them jackfruit tacos. All right. So my boy Rollo clipped me, and he sent me the clip. And I'm telling you, this is where we just was cracking up laughing like throughout the whole night almost. All right. This is crazy, crazy work. Here we go. This is me doing an impression of Denzel Washington being irritated about vegans calling chicken tacos, jackfruit tacos, calling them chicken tacos. And y'all let me know how I did with my impression. All right. Here we go. Let's go.
I'm making no chicken tacos. They're making jackfruit tacos. That's what they're doing. Huh? 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 Okay. All right. All right. So you think you're making jackfruit tacos? Okay. All right. Huh? You're going to be playing basketball at a restaurant filled with pigeons by the time I get done with you, okay? Huh? Spatulas everywhere. Huh? For you. Okay. Now I'm telling you, you're gonna go in the back and make me some real chicken tacos instead of giving me jackfruit chicken. Huh?
I hit my glasses on the my glasses came off on the floor. So hey, it was hot in this house too, man. So yo, it was burning up. But I'm telling you, we was having a blast, man. We was having a blast. My boy made a pho. He made pho that night. That's why you see that soy sauce. That's why you see that soy sauce right there. We had pho. He made, and it was good too, by the way, for real. But that is we was tripping, man. We was having a good time, man. Good time. Okay, Cat got somebody that they Green Gang in the building. That's what's up. Yo, man. Yeah. Yo, I was trying to do my best. Like, I didn't know he was clipping me. So a lot of times, you know how sometimes you just do stuff off of your own choice, like nobody asked you to do it or anything like that. But yeah, I was definitely in my Denzel. I was definitely in my Denzel, man. I'm gonna put on a little music too. All right, while we're doing this. All right. So I saw something in the chat. Roll up quick. Steph kind of messed me up. Steph kind of messed me up a little bit with this right here. She said, "Chill. He take you with him." Dang. I had a plan. Okay. I had a plan with this. Hold on, let me stop this music for a minute. So a lot of people don't know. Okay, a lot of people don't know, but they will find out now, right? So a lot of people don't know that Chill is not just my mod. And she's not just my girl. You know what I'm saying? She's my wife. All right. We have gotten married. Okay. Got married last year. All right. Unbeknownst to everybody else. Shout out to my wife. So when I talk about my wife, I'm talking about Chill. All right. I'm talking about Chill. Did you see she in here? Did you want to say something real quick? Or this is improv right here, y'all. This is not planned at all. This is not planned at all. This is not planned at all. You wanna come through? No. You want to say anything? You ain't got to put your face on there if you don't want to. You want to say how you want to wave a hand or nothing? Just put your hand in front of the camera like this here. They can see. Okay, there's you look good. I don't know why you. Okay, you want to show them your ring? No. Yeah, you've been showing everybody else your ring. But that's my wife, y'all. So we have been rocking out. We've been rocking out since 2023 and made it official last year. And we heard you said we heard that laugh. They heard that laugh. So she's a real person. She's a real person, man. But and then because we have our own podcast too called Intimate Insights on Spotify. And so we're going to get back to that as well. We kind of took a back seat on a lot of different things because we want to kind of revamp some stuff. And now that we're together, and living together and all that kind of stuff, we want to kind of get our setup together and all that. So we're working on a few things. But yeah, so Yes, I took her to Detroit, Steph. Steph, she came with me because I was gonna do it. I was gonna try to do like a see who could guess who my wife was, and all. I had a whole thing, but Steph got the cat out of the bag, so it wasn't meant to be. It's all good. But yo, she went to Detroit, all right, and we stopped at a spot. Let me get this image too. It's gonna be in the slideshow. But oh, y'all already knew? Oh, my bad. I'm tripping. I thought I was concealing something. Oh man, I thought I was concealing something, man. Wow. Well, the more you know. The more you know. Dang. Joke's on me. The joke is on me. They're like, man, we been new, dog. We been new. Anyway, so I want to go to another staple. All right. I want to go to another staple that's in Detroit. Detroit is also known for our food. All right. We're also known for our food. We're especially known to have a lot of Coney Islands. Okay. When you go to Detroit and you in the city, you're going to see a lot of Coney Islands. You're going to see a lot of liquor stores and churches, like actual like Baptist churches and other different churches, all within the same radius of each other. Okay. Now, when I told Chill about this, she thought I was playing. She thought I was playing. Every time, we was going up Livernois. It's a street in Detroit called Livernois. We're going up Livernois, and she saw a Nikki D's Coney Island, a L. George's Coney Island, another Nikki D's Coney Island, a Legends Coney Island, Royal Grill Coney. We got Coneys everywhere. But the iconic spot is downtown right here. You got the Lafayette Coney Island and the American Coney Island, and they're directly next to each other. Let me tell you something about this place. I don't understand why. I don't understand why it's set up this way. But these two families have been in competition with each other on their Coney Island for like 100 years. Okay. All right. These are iconic spots. All right. Steph says church should give you a take-home bottle of wine on Sundays. Bet more people would go. Oh, definitely. Especially the Baptist church. Baptist church, they rock out to it. They rock out to the wines, man. They don't care. They rock out to the wines for sure. Okay, for real, for real. But yo, Lafayette Coney Island and American Coney Island are staples in the city. If you are going to Detroit, if you plan on, let me tell you something about Detroit. It's a tourist town, basically. I have not lived there since 2019. So it's going on about 6-7 years now. And I went back, and I'm telling you, downtown and the metropolitan area of Detroit they've been rebuilding for sure. The inner city still need work as any other major city, but I think they're going inside out because downtown Detroit kind of comes in at angles all the way down into one big area. And then right behind downtown Detroit is the river, Detroit River, and across from that is Canada. All right. So downtown Detroit, these two restaurants are the staples. I took her to Lafayette Coney Island first. When we go back, we're going to go to American Coney Island. She's going to see the difference between the two. But Lafayette, I always tell people, if you come to Detroit, you got to get a Verner's. Okay, you got to get a Verner's. All right. And when you get a Verner's, it got to look like this. Don't get no white label. Get this. All right. Now, The Lafayette Coney Island has something called the Lafayette Special. It is a beef frank with the snap on that boy. Okay. They have their chili with the hamburger meat. It has mustard and it has onions. Okay. Then they also have chili cheese fries. Now they use shredded cheese, but they put the chili on top and the cheese melts. And then that's when you put your ketchup. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now, what I had to do, I had to introduce Detroit to my wife. I had to let her know because she took me. We went for Thanksgiving last year. Thanksgiving, we went to Connecticut. That's where she's from. She showed me her town in Connecticut. All right. And it ain't nothing but pizza there. All right. This is the pizza capital of the world. All right. All they do is make, just like they got Coney Islands in Detroit, they have nothing but pizza in Connecticut. All right. Okay. Let me tell you something. In Detroit, Lafayette is the spot. That's the startup spot for me that I tell people all the time. And I did get a review from my wife as we were having lunch. I took her to Lafayette, Coney Island. She gave me a review of what she thought of the food. And so I'm going to play the video. I asked her that she didn't mind that I played this video. She is chewing her food a little bit, but she's not messy. So thank God for that, right? Here's Chill having her first Coney Island, Lafayette Coney Island, Lafayette special with the chili cheese fries. And I had to ask her what her review was. Everybody, let's check this out real quick. My lovely wife is in Detroit with me and trying a Lafayette special at the Lafayette Coney Island in Detroit. This is your first time having a Coney dog from Detroit. On a scale of 1 to 10, what you rating it?
I'm gonna give it an 8.
Okay, that's high. That's a high. Now she gave it an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, ladies, don't come here trying to be cute because there's chili on here and onions and all the things. It's got to be messy, but it's so good. Yeah. I like it.
Okay. Sweet. Okay. She gave it an 8. All right. Now, shout out to my baby for being a good sport on this. I appreciate it. The way it tastes is like you really just have to try it. All right. She said, yeah, she said, don't try to be cute. This is not that. Yes. I was shocked. I thought she was going to give it a 7. You know what I'm saying? Because Coney Island is like, I'm going to tell you what Coney Island is. Coney Island is that food where you've been hanging out, you've been on a little joy, right? A little something. It ain't Verner's, but it looked like it, right? You've been on that, and you get hungry. You know what I'm saying? You get a little hungry. You're like, yo, what's open right now? Let me go. I'm already downtown hanging out. What should I go do? Where should I go visit? You go to Coney Island, all right? You go to Coney Island, downtown in Detroit, and you enjoy you a nice Coney dog. Exactly. It's just like Waffle House in Atlanta. Like the Waffle House, that's the spot you go to when you done had a long night. We're going to call it that. Blue Eyed Hillbilly, shout out to Blue Eyed Hillbilly. Good to see you. Yes. Yo, we just talked about my Detroit vacation that I had at the end of last year. And thank you so much for coming back and stopping by. I'm so glad that you all still rock with me, man. It's been a long time. I know. It's been a minute. It's been over a little bit over a month. I apologize. I'm gonna get better this year, and I have a plan and a plan of action that I'm going to execute this year. All right. Steph said to me, Coney Island is so New York. It's wild. You go to Detroit for the best. Now, that's the thing. So the history of it, from what I understand, is that there were people who moved from overseas to New York way back years ago and had started these little hot dog stands years ago. We talking black and white TV years ago, right? And then I think one of the families or both of the families, I can't remember how it went, but one of the families moved to Detroit. All right. And then after that, it was a wrap. Like it was crazy work. Sharing recipes, doing all this kind of, the chili has a very distinctive taste. It's not like chili with bean, like a home style chili. It's not like that. It is chili, but it's very, very good. The chili is so good. Oh my goodness. And now the American Coney Island, their chili has a certain taste too, and it's so good. All right. They've always been in competition. But the one thing that American Coney Island have over Lafayette, they got the squeezed cheese, though. See, American Coney Island, they put the squeezed cheese on your fries with the chili on. With the chili on top. You see how my voice went up? With the chili on top. It's crazy. It's insane how good it is. It's just insane how good it is. All right. Now, there is a dessert spot that we went to. And I think we went to this spot maybe, I want to say it was either Monday or Tuesday of that week or something like that. I can't remember. But they have very good desserts. It's called Shatila's. It's in a city. It's in the Detroit metropolitan area, but there's a little small town called Dearborn. Okay. You got Dearborn, and then way up the road, you got Dearborn Heights. All right. Dearborn is where your Arabic community is. All right. And they have a bakery called Shatila's. It is fantastic. They got spinach pies. They have baklava. They have tiramisu. It's ridiculous, right? In Oak Park and Southfield, Michigan. You ever heard of like Southfield, Michigan and Oak Park, Michigan and all that? That's the Jewish side, the Jewish community. So they're on one, so Arabic community on one end, Jewish community on the other end, and Detroit is big old Detroit is smack dab in the middle. That's how the city is, man. And you can go across 8 Mile and you go into the Jewish community side of things. And then you can go across like I want to say Wyoming, and when you're going towards like Michigan Avenue, that's where the Dearborn area is. Fantastic communities, all right? I've had the pleasure of meeting so many people in both communities, and they're very polite, man. Very, very polite people. Don't cross them, though. They do have a side, both. One side takes care of things differently than the other, but you don't want to cross, man. It's just like any other person, just like any other community of people. You don't want to, we'll be wholesome and kind to you and hospitable. But if you do anything like be disrespectful, all that kind of stuff, you know, we all have our threshold. So does every other community. I want to show you their bakery, their baked stuff, though. It's really fantastic. When you look at this, it's like, I mean, this is all mousse. Like these are like mousse, like mousse cakes and stuff. Fantastic.
Yes.
You have another one that's like this too. Uh-oh. Slow it down a little bit. I think I'm breaking up a little bit. Am I good, y'all? It was slow on my end. But anyway, it's It is definitely. Steph said, "I'm starving now." I'm sorry, but it is absolutely fantastic. Anyway, let's go into the slideshow I had that I wanted to do real quick. I'll come down here this way. Oh no, not that. I'll go here. All right. So before we get, because it's gonna run kind of fast. So that's downtown Detroit, man. Like this is what that was not down here before. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have stuff like this before, like just like tourist attraction stuff. Of course, it's lit up. It's the end of the year. It's after Christmas time. Again, my birthday is on the 30th, so Christmas is 5 days before me. And then it's New Year's Eve after my birthday and New Year's Day right after that. So my birthday gets forgotten very fast. Okay. Which is fine. Listen, I'm so used to it. It's fine with me. I'm not a big for myself, I'm not like all right, I gotta get a party going. I'm not really like that for my birthday. I like to just do like regular stuff, chill out, hang out, whatever. But for other people's birthday, I love to celebrate their birthday. You know what I'm saying? Their birthdays just come at good times. Like people that's born in June, it's summertime. People that's born in August and September, especially September and October, like it's fall season. You get to dress up. I mean, it's really good. My birthday is cold, it's dark, fast. It's stuff ain't open. You know what I mean? Like, everything is just not good. But I just want to run through this slide real quick, and I want to go ahead and throw a little music on. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna play the slide real quick. So that's the Detroit sign. All right. Now we are at a place called Pegasus. Hold on one second. We had a place called Pegasus. Pegasus is a Greek restaurant. All right. I have a very sentimental space in my heart for this particular restaurant. This restaurant, I was going through, I would say this is back in 2014, 15. I was going through like a major transition in my life. And what I was going through was, you know how you go through something and like all the other people get a chance to create their narrative of the story. but you don't have enough audience to tell them the truth, so you just don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? You just don't say anything, right? You just you don't try to clear up nothing. You just leave it in God's hands, and that's it. You just leave it in God's hands, and that's it. You don't really try. Every battle is not meant to be fought with aggression. There are times where your silence has to become a weapon. And I was going through that phase in my life where I had to be silent because most of even my friends were not my friends no more. Like everybody just was on a turn with your boy. And I'm like, dang. like dang. And things were happening to me. And I'm like, God, I'm gonna leave it in your hands, and that's it. And when I was going through my loneliness at that time, this particular restaurant I would go to by myself, and they had a little bar area where you could just sit and eat your food like by the bar. I would just sit there by myself and have a meal, and it was some of the most wholesome food that I've ever had, Greek food. And I'm like, it's been here the whole time. You know what I'm saying? So I would go there like when they had like the ballroom dance classes in Detroit, because we do Detroit ballroom. So we had the Detroit ballroom dance classes and stuff like that. And it was free on Thursday nights. And before I would go to the ballroom spot, I would stop at the restaurant, give me some lunch. It would be the Pegasus Greek restaurant is where I would go. So this is the reason why I wanted everybody to come there for my birthday. You know what I'm saying? It was a sentimental reason. I didn't get into all that while I was there, but They didn't know that, but that's what the reason is. So I'm gonna go from left to right. So to the left is my homegirl Lisi. She's like a big sister. As a matter of fact, we were able to like her family and my family, like her family and me are like close. You'll see why. I'll tell you why, because my boy, he's in these photos too, and we're real close. Been close since we was like little. You know what I'm saying? And so I definitely wanted to have her there. You know what I'm saying? So to my right, all the way to the left is Lisi. Next to her, the young lady, the light-skinned young lady with the black and white on, her name is Ambrosia. That's my boy's wife. Of course, that's me in the middle. Of course, that's Chill next to me, my wife. And then next to her, to the far right, is Angie. That's my homeboy's JB's lady. And they all came out to support your boy. Of course, my boy Rollo was there too, as well. All right. So, hold on. Let's see if I can loop this track. All right. I heard somebody say something about the hat, man. Oh yeah, Tay know how to wear a hat. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? I definitely appreciate it. That boy gonna wear a hat. I'm gonna wear a hat. I'm going to wear a hat. I'm sorry, I'm random right now. I'm just not looking into the comments real quick. Yeah, absolutely, man. I love the beautiful women, beautiful life, beautiful. I mean, handsome brothers, good people. Like you need that. You definitely need that. You definitely need that. Blue Eye Hillbilly said, and Tay Biz dope hat. We must get together and talk hats for sure. Absolutely. Always sporting the most excellent hats. I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. Okay, now we're gonna get into. I'm gonna continue to play the slide here. Now these are my fellas. Now to the far left is my boy Kurt. I've been knowing him literally since diapers. His mother and my mother was pregnant at the same time. We went to the same church. Okay. And we grew up together in the nursery and everything. All right. The church nursery and everything. And that's been my boy Kurt. Now the short young lady with the black and white on, that's his wife. All right. Then next to him is my boy Rollo, of course. We met them. You saw them already in the other picture. He came by himself. Then it's me standing right there with the red hat on, of course. And then my boy JB to my left, your right. All right. Then I had to take a picture with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Kat. Happy birthday. I appreciate it. Thank you. I've been knowing these are people I've been knowing for years. Okay. These are people I've been knowing for years. All right. These are not brand new people. You know what I'm saying? These are not people that come in and out your life. No, these people have been in my life for a very long time. Okay. We talk about 30, we can talk about 40 something year, 25 plus year friendships. I mean, collectively, just years and years and years of friendship. Now, this is the food. Now, this is Pegasus. Now, this is a chicken shawarma from Pegasus, and they did him right because they got the chicken and they got all his stuff up under there that he want to put in there. The pickled ginger, all that kind of stuff is up under there. The onions. I'm telling you, got the garlic aioli that they rock out, and the fries. I'm telling you right now, the food be amazing. All right. Steph said you are so blessed to have those forever friends. Absolutely. I'm telling you, a lot of people, that's something to look for. I don't want to get into like relationship advice and nothing like that. But if you talking to someone or you dating someone and they don't have like a solid foundation of friends, and I'm not talking about just the type of friends that's like fan friends. You know, you got those friends that you don't do nothing wrong. They always on your side. They biased. They don't never check you. Not those friends. I'm talking about a solid group of friends that's like, yo, you tripping right now. You need to get yourself together. Those type of friends. Those are the type of friends that I have. I have argued on several occasions with every last person on that screen except for Chill. Chill and I don't have like arguments like that. You know what I'm saying? People always talk about how marriage is hard, and it's like, nah. It's not that. We have mad respect for each other, and I mean, Chill respects me to the highest. You know, she holds me in high regard, and as a man, I want to maintain that respect. You know, and so we don't yell at each other. We don't do all that kind of stuff. You can have a relationship without yelling. It's possible. It is definitely possible to have a relationship without yelling at each other. And I think a lot of people, they need to have a little woosah and talk to other people that really got this thing together. Because if you listen to your biased friends, and they're not giving you the right type of insight, I'm telling you, that could be a detriment to you as a person. So make sure your friends is your chosen family. Like, you choose them. You feel me? So shout out YP Comp Chick saying happy birthday. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. We just going over some stuff from Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Wishing your boy happy birthday. Oh, she said, I love the pictures. We're back to catch up. I appreciate you, Kat. For sure. Yes. So definitely, these are like the type of friends that I have. But again, this is the Pegasus Greek restaurant. It's called the Pegasus Taverna, and it's a very, very good spot in Detroit, downtown. It's in Greektown. There's an area downtown called Greektown, and there's a bunch of Greek restaurants. It's another barbecue spot across the street called Red Smoke, and that boy is fire as well. All right, that boy is fire as well. Appreciate you saying happy birthday to me. I appreciate it. Light Bright 21 in the building. I appreciate you so much. Is YouTube doing that thing again where they're showing everybody tag names instead of their preferred like display name? Like, everybody, I'm seeing all the tags in here, man. Dang, it's all good. I'm not trying to be disrespectful by saying your tag names, people. So I apologize in advance. The Light Bright in the building. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much for the love. If you want to show love through Cal, I got the QR code up, man. We just chilling. We having a good time. We're having a good time right now. All right, let's get back to the restaurant. All right, so we are here now. This is my home that I grew up in during high school. Okay, I know the address to this place too. Okay, these are places you won't forget. All right, and I'm telling you right now, listen, that house right there, okay, is where like a lot of like your growing up and your growing, I want to say growing pains a little bit, because growing pains are not necessarily bad, you know, they're just transitions. I learned a lot about myself growing up in this house, and to be honest with you, growing up, this house was the most stable place that we had. Like, my mom did every possible thing she could to make sure that I was taken care of, and this house was a house that she was buying, and it was the first house that she ever tried to buy. You know what I'm saying? And she doing it on her own by herself. She was strong with it. She was doing her thing. And this is also the house where my grandmother passed away back in 2006. March the 1st, 2006 is where my grandmother passed away in this house. And so I remember the day and everything. And in the basement of this house, I had like a whole little setup. I had one side, I had a pool table and darts. The other side, I had the bed with the TV and the couch on that side. And on the other side, I had just the couch and the books. So I could read and all, because I was chilling down there, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, my mom was buying this house, man. And this was the house where I grew up in from like junior high, like grade school, junior high, like 7th, 8th grade, catapulting into high school. You know what I'm saying? And so it was a lot of good memories in this house, and some other things that happened in this house as well that were like, again, transitional, pivotal moment type stuff that happens in your life. But I'm telling you, this was so dope experience growing up. I had bought my first car in this house. Okay, I actually had bought a car from my uncle for $250. And he gave me an 83 Buick Regal. I gave him $250 for it. And I was trying to rebuild the engine on it and rebuild the carburetor on it and everything so I could drive it, because I loved that car. I loved that car that he had. It was an old school 83 Regal. I was like, dude, I gotta have that car, man. He ain't want it no more, so I had bought it from him. But my own car had a 1997 Ford Thunderbird LX. Okay, and this house was where I first bought that car. All right, and it was just, look, you couldn't tell me nothing. It was blue. It was a V8. I called the car Blueberry Muffin, so the nickname was Muffin. And I'm telling you, it was a girl. All right, she was sexy, driving up 8 Mile. You feel me, in Detroit. All right, I'm telling you, I had so many great memories in this house, man. All right, here we go. Some more stuff. Let's see. Of course, we got the Coney Islands, the iconic Coney Islands. If you're ever in Detroit, go there. Now, Redford High School was the high school that I graduated from. Okay, I got into Cass Tech. I did not do what I needed to do in Cass Tech, which was the number 2 school in the city at the time. I did not do what I was supposed to do, and got into some situations there, and couldn't go back. All right, Redford High School was the school that I went to. That house that I just showed you was like maybe walking distance from Redford High School. Redford High School is now Myers, y'all. It's a Meyer. It is a Meyer and Plaza in there, okay? So what they did was, in to commemorate the high school, they put up this like mausoleum or whatever you want to call it, or statue, I would say. And it has Redford High School, home of the Huskies, and it was donated by the student council of Redford High School, and so that's how we were able to get some type of memory of our school. But that's the high school that I graduated from. All right. Yes, man. The grocery store, the Meyer grocery store, dude, it's a Meyer now, bro. My school is a Meyer now, dog. I'm talking about, when I saw it on the news, it was a little baby tear just came out my eye, dog. I'm like, I can't believe they're about to tear my school down, dog. I can't believe the Meyer family bought my high school, dog. This is messed up, man. It's messed up. These are my boys again, Rollo and JB the Gent. That was us at the restaurant. That's Lisi. All right, this is my elementary school. This right here is my elementary school. This is the school. This is my kindergarten through 4th grade right here. All right. It used to be called General George Custer Elementary School. Then someone found out that George Custer owned slaves, and so they renamed the school Thurgood Marshall Elementary School. That's how we got the name Thurgood Marshall. And we had a service for the changing of the name, and we had to do the creation by Langston Hughes, and I was in the newspaper because I was in the creation about Langston Hughes. All right, we had to perform it, and I was in the newspaper about it, and it was dope. It was dope. It was super dope. All right, so the elementary school, I was rocking out there, man. I was very popular in elementary for some reason. Okay, I was very silly, but I always got my work done. I had straight A's and B's, so I wasn't no bad kid like that. But definitely that was my high school. Now, right here where I'm showing you, right here, this area that I took a picture of, this is where I got jumped one day. I got jumped one day by my own friends in 3rd grade. Patrick Thomas, Sherrod Kelly, and it was another dude. I can't think of his name to save my life, man. But Sherrod Kelly and Patrick Thomas, they jumped me, man. So my mom's just dropping me off at school because she was going to cosmetology school at the time. She had to get a ride. I was late getting to school, even though it was like after 8 o'clock, so that's still late. As soon as I get out, they jump me. And then, now this is post Mario. This is after I beat up the bully in my neighborhood. Man, they jumped me, and then I got up and I started wailing on all of them individually. And it was one dude, Sherrod. I was grabbing him by the neck and I was just punching him in the face. And my principal at this school, his name is Ozzie Dupree. God rest his soul. Ozzie Dupree was the principal, and he saw us fighting from his office. He went down there and grabbed all of us. He took us upstairs in his office and tore our butts up with that paddle. That man had a paddle, that big old wide paddle with the handle. He tore our butts up, and he did not tolerate fighting. He did not like fighting at all, especially when he knew we were all friends. He did not like that. And so I remember that day. I remember that day vividly, as you can see, that he did not play that. And so he always was about making peace and, you know, having prayer before the school and all, about before school starting, everything. So that day I had missed all that. So, you know, it had to be nothing but the devil. It had to be nothing but the devil, man. He said, look, he said, not the picture of the trauma at the sidewalk. I mean, dog, right at the spot, bro. Right at the spot, bro. Okay, this is the church I grew up in. All right, in Detroit, there was a church called Greater Grace Temple. It's still a church called Greater Grace Temple. But this is the original. This is the original Greater Grace Temple where the old pastor, Bishop David Ellis, who has gone into heaven as well in 1996, he was the pastor there. Him and his deacons, they actually built this church by hand, and they were able to pay off the mortgage of this church by, you know, like in a 5-year span or something like that. It was very fast. But this church is where I learned how to play drums, where I used to do I used to be like, I sang in the choir. I did all that stuff at this church, man. So I have a lot of good memories. This is the church that I grew up in. And so I had to take a picture of it, man. This is on 7 Mile and Schaefer, y'all. This church is on 7 Mile. You understand me? 7 Mile in the building. All right, that's my school again. Look how big it is. That's a big elementary school. Okay, this is my childhood. This is my childhood house. That house, I'm right up the street from my elementary school. Okay, so I used to walk to school. See, remember back in the day, you used to walk to school? Put a 1 in the chat if you used to have to walk to school. These kids now don't have to do anything. They can work from school from home. They work from school home. All right, now this school right here. The name of it is now called David Lee Ellis Academy, or David Ellis Academy. It used to be called Greater Grace Temple Christian Academy, and it was a private school. And one of my Sunday school teachers noticed how advanced I was when it came to like Sunday school and retaining information and all that kind of stuff. And she talked to my mom about putting me in private school. And my mom was like, I mean, we wasn't balling like that. You know what I'm saying? We weren't poor. Well, it kind of was. We were pretty much poor, but my mom's couldn't afford no private school. So the principal of the school, her name was Miss Johnson. And I believe my pastor at the time, David Ellis, who was in that right corner, you see a mural of him. He paid for all 4 years of me to go to this school and never said anything. I actually found that out. But he paid all 4 years of the school to make sure that I got to school, make sure that I was in school from 5th grade to 8th grade. I was the class president. I was the 8th grade class president at this school. All right. This is the school where I was that guy. I ain't gonna lie. I was that guy at this school, man. I had a lot of, our class, we all kind of like grew up in it together. And we just all had this like real good camaraderie and chemistry as students. And they voted me to be class president of 8th grade class. Like my peers. You know, that was the kind of respect that we all have for each other. And they chose me to be the 8th grade class president and all that kind of stuff. And so I was able to do that in school. But we had latchkey, of course. I don't even know if they do latchkey anymore. But we had latchkey after school program, played basketball there. I was on the basketball team there. I was just there for the rebounds and the draw fouls. That's it. I was a good free throw shooter. I was in there to get the rebounds and draw fouls, dog. I wasn't in there for the fast breaks. I was not in there for the fast breaks. Draw fouls, shoot them free throws, make sure you make them. All right. That's what I was known for. But I had a little handle, I had a little dribble, but Coach Green, he passed away too. Coach Green, like, nah, don't do that. Do what I tell you to do. I'm like, yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? But that's my other school. This is my grade school here. Of course, more food from Pegasus. All right. Again, this is all random. Look at that. Pegasus know how to do their thing. That is Canada. This is me showing Chill the river walk and everything, because she see it on TV, but she's never been there. She's like, I didn't know Canada was right on. I'm like, you're looking at downtown Windsor, Ontario right now. Like, it's literally across the pond, across the river. And we have a tunnel. The Detroit Tunnel takes you from Michigan under the tunnel to Canada, and you come up on the other side to customs and all that kind of stuff. And then you're able to tell them what you're there for, do all those kind of things and everything. And then you're right there in Canada. So on this river, we have like Detroit fireworks and stuff like that. And the Detroit fireworks, you can watch them on either side, either downtown Detroit or in Canada. A lot of people prefer to go to Canada and watch it because you don't have to worry about the crowd, and you don't have to pay to go to another country. So you're straight, you can just save your money going over there, take some Detroit snacks with you and then have a good time in Canada and watch the fireworks. Super dope stuff. Of course, me and Chill, they called us in Mid Smile. That was Chill's dish. Now she had some shrimp, and you got the rice with the vegetables with the tomato sauce on there. Oh my God. Forget about it. Huh? Detroit Princess Boat. You can actually hold events on this boat and just go, and it'll just take you all around Detroit River. It'll take you on the United States side. It'll take you on the Canadian side and just loops all the way around. The Detroit Princess Boat, it used to be called Boblo Boat. People who watch this, whoever rewatches this live, that's from Detroit, when I say Boblo Boat, they're going to flip. But the Boblo Boat used to be there before the Princess Boat. The Princess is a little bit bigger and better. And we used to do Detroit Ballroom in there and all that kind of stuff too. I saw somebody in the chat say something about ballroom video. I don't have any videos of myself ballrooming, but I'm pretty sure somebody does. If I'm able to get that from them, I will share that. All right. Definitely. Of course, this is more food pit. All right. And then we have the Detroit sign once again, and just wanted to, share my Detroit visit. You know what I'm saying? Going back home. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for rocking out with your boy. I appreciate it so much. There we go. Hold on, let me get the official clap again. Here we go. All right. It's been a minute, y'all. I'm sorry. Obviously, I'm tripping. But yeah, that was my stint in Detroit, man. I got so many memories in Detroit. I was able to take pictures with my pop and family there too, but the pictures are being made, right? They're being developed and all that kind of stuff. It was a photographer that was there. And so once those pictures are available and ready, they're going to send them to us, and we'll be able to go on ahead and take a look at that. All right. Shout out again to KP for the $10 super chat. Shout out to Chill for being, of course, always a YouTube member, of course. And shout out to Katnar Williams again for the 5 Tay-Biz TV memberships. I definitely appreciate it. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me chit chat about my Detroit stay. I love my city. I love Detroit. I'm always asked if I'm going to ever move back. I don't know. Maybe not. I'm not sure. I haven't felt the unction to do that right now, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll definitely see. All right, we're going to switch gears. We're definitely going to switch gears a little bit. KP said gave me inspiration to go see my pops. I'm in his city like every other day. Yeah, man, go see your pops, man. I'm gonna tell you why. First I'll talk to my pop pretty much almost on a daily basis. If we're not talking, we're texting. And last month, before like around this time last month, actually, he had suffered a stroke. He had an aneurysm in his brain, and they had to remove it. And he came out with, he came out healthy. He came out healthy. His mechanics are good. His comprehension is good. Everything is good. But his speech is something that he has to redevelop. It's not that he couldn't talk. It's not his brain trying to. His brain knows what he wants to say, but his mouth is not responding to the way he wants to say it. And so I forgot the name of it, but there's a certain speech therapy that he can do where they could just teach him how to talk again, basically. But he doesn't have any mechanic issues. He's not paralyzed on either side. God is just good, bro. You know what I'm saying? And so, even though I love my pop, and I always, stay in touch with him, even though I live here in Indy. Anytime I'm back in Detroit, we're doing the same thing we always do, making sure we spend time with each other, going to our spot. You know what I'm saying? All that kind of stuff, man. But, I didn't realize how much I missed his voice until he had the stroke. And then now he's able to talk. And when I went to Detroit, he gave me a hug. And he hugged me. He was like, my man, my man, my man, I love you, Tay. I was like, oh, dog, here we go. I'm just boo-hooing, bro. I'm telling you, boo-hooing, bro. Just super excited that to hear his voice, man. You know what I'm saying? So if you get the time, man, you never know when the time is going to come where you need to see somebody, tell somebody you love them. Hey, do it while they're here, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy that you get the opportunity to get to your pop city, to stop by, say what up to him, man. Even if it's just 10, 15 minutes of chill time. Like, at least you did that. You know what I'm saying? Detroit has some pretty houses and buildings. They need more business there. Yeah, that's exactly what has happened. They have tons of business there now, which is shocking. Like, you'll be surprised. They have one of our old buildings is now the headquarters for like Wells Fargo and all that kind of stuff. And they got some major stuff coming up, coming through Detroit. They actually got people, they're actually building new apartments by the river. They call Riverview Apartments. They're building them now. And some of them is already preoccupied by money because they're prepaying for them, because they're moving from New York to Detroit for work and for business and stuff. So Detroit, as far as business wise, is really, really booming. I would like the small businesses to start elevating. You know what I'm saying? And I see that in different areas in Detroit. Like, I'm seeing people, get their restaurant up or get their hat company up. You know what I'm saying? Or get their, I got this one guy. I forgot his name. I remember him. I used to work with him. He go by the name Dice is his nickname. He go by the name Dice. And but he got like arcade games for kids in the neighborhood, and he got a boutique store, and he got a podcast, a podcast studio that he created in the city, where you can go in the city, not out of town, not in Southfield, not in Oak Park, not in Dearborn, but in the actual city, and do business, and I want more of that there, because the big businesses are cool. They downtown, they there, but I would like to see more businesses, like small businesses just rise up, man. You never know. I thought about some stuff even there, man. I'm like, man, I really did. I really did. So, it's dope. It's dope. Go ahead and share my screen here. Let me get this popping. We got some stuff to talk about, though. Just a little bit. We're gonna switch gears now. Just a little bit. Thank you all again so much for listening to my my vacation. Oh, somebody know what they talking about. How far is Southgate from where your pop live? Oh man, Southgate would be 40 minutes. Yeah, he lived deep west. Um, like he lived like West Bloomfield Hills. Like he's all the way on that side. Southgate is all the way over there. You talking about going to a Taylor and you know Eureka Road. I know what you talking about. You know what I'm saying? That way far. You feel me? That way far. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but yeah, he lives a ways. He lives a ways from there. Um, Missed you too. Missed you too. Thank you. Thank you. I miss you too. I miss all of you all. But thank you for shouting me out and saying you miss me. I miss you too as well. I tell you, um, I miss being on here. I miss having our conversations, doing our thing. Again, it was good for me to have some time away. I kind of needed it, not just because of what happened with my pop as well, but also because of my work and then like getting my schedule together, but also trying to find out other ways to revamp the channel and stuff like that. Because although I love to do true crime, I also love to have different topics about different things, and I don't want to just limit myself to just one thing here, but I do want the channel to have an identity. And I think the foundation of it is being laid, but I have some other stuff to build on that foundation that I want to build on. All right. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into the motion to recuse the lawyer in the Mickey Stines case. Yes, that's what I said. For those of you who have not been keeping up with the case as much, there's a new motion that was filed on the 29th of December. 29th of December. See here, I see people still coming through and stuff here. I have people in Southgate. Yes, you know it for sure. Southgate, man. I used to work for the Salvation Army in Romulus, the warehouse. I used to be a truck driver for them, and I used to have like people who were in the Salvation Army program. Some of the men who would like work in a warehouse, they would love when I had trips to go to, like other warehouses to go to, and like far stores to go to. And from Romulus to Southgate is pretty far, right? Pretty far. And I used to go from Romulus to Southgate and have somebody with me. And I mean Southgate, we couldn't. Sometimes you could take the freeway, sometimes you couldn't because of what was in the truck. But when I had to take the street, they loved it. They absolutely loved it. So Southgate got some distance to it. Says, yes, honey, you needed a break, but no, you were missed. I am so happy to hear your pops is improving and doing well. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. They appreciate the love so much. Katna Williams said, I think you shine with considerate takes on difficult topics. Thank you. Thank you, Kat. I appreciate that. A lot of people, they don't like having uncomfortable conversations, and so there's a way to have uncomfortable conversations in a very respectful way, and in a very authentic way too. I think there has to be a foundation established when you have difficult conversations. Sometimes you have to approach it with a foundation laid first, so we both have an agreement on how we're going to do this together. Because you got to come in with some good faith. I got to come in the conversation with some good faith for the purpose of getting the result, hearing each other out, understanding, and then you can walk away with something, right? With something. And I think that's something that I enjoy doing, and I might do that a little bit more often. But I also want to have more guests on the show, like more people to rock with me on certain things and stuff like that. But definitely with we're gonna be doing some football stuff here. Okay. I'm just letting you know right now, ladies. If I have some ladies watching, we're gonna be talking about some football. All right. We're gonna be talking about some football. I aspire one day to be a coach for the young people, for young men, for young boys, and so I want to, I definitely want to continue my learning on how to coach and stuff like that too. So I love talking football. I love talking NFL, some college a little bit, but I love talking NFL football. And so yeah, definitely want to do that. But yeah, Kat, I appreciate you saying that, because that really means a lot. Kat is, look, I look up to Kat, man. Like, for real, I look up to you. Like, I look up to you. Your channel, the way you got it set up, the way you do your thing is all love. Is all good. One of the best channels. I've been supporting Kat Now Williams. Everybody put a 1 in the chat if you love Kat. Put a 1 in the chat if you love Kat. All right, because I'm telling you, I've been rocking out with Kat for a long time, and I'm gonna just always rock out with Kat, man. Again, shout out to Kat for always supporting channel. All right, so we're gonna get into this case. Here we go. Let me take this QR code off your screen so you can see what's going on. Unless that's not in you guys' way. If it's not in your way, then let me know if it's not in the way. I just want to make sure everybody can see what we reading here. All right, so this was filed on December 29th, 2025. This is a day before my birthday. Now, this is very, very interesting. This is very, very interesting because I glanced at this motion. I did not read it in full because I wanted to read it with you. I wanted to share my response and reaction raw, uncut with you, so that way we could go ahead and get some understanding on what is going on. Okay, now I have to say something real quick for a second. I almost started losing some steam with this case. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not even going to lie to you. For a short week or two, I was like, man, what is going on? And I had to kind of dial back too, because we were talking a lot about the corruption in Kentucky, and I got plenty of corruption videos and lives on this channel. You can watch it as much as you want. Okay, trust me, I have a whole Sean Mickey Stines playlist. You can do as much looking at it as you want. But I just was losing some steam a little bit. And I'm like, it's being dragged out. It feels like, let me say it that way. It feels like it's being dragged out. Okay. Want to change the venue, and then that's a thing. The last hearing that they had, it really burned my bacon because it was basically no hearing. Okay. Some more discovery time, some other stuff, and then another motion and all this kind of stuff or whatever, and that they wanted to file and all that kind of stuff. And the judge is like, okay, well, we'll just reconvene another time. Basically, we did not get any juice worth that squeeze. All right. And so I was so irritated with the last hearing. That was when I was like, you know what? Y'all playing with me. All right. Y'all playing with me. Kiss a Pink, shout out again to Kiss a Pink for the super chat. He said, me and Kat Now Williams been waiting for you to cover this. Man, look. And I was listening to some other professionals talk about this. We will all listen to that together in a moment. But I'm telling you right now, I was so irritated with the last hearing. I'm like, dude, I don't hear nothing. There is nothing going on. Even the hearing before that, talking about bail and all this kind of stuff. Like, we know, come on, man. We know for a fact that you're not gonna let this man post bail. Like, like, come on, man. We know that. I just think that it was being dragged a little bit. And so when the last hearing really just like, I'm waiting on it, And I'm like, okay, I'm waiting to see what's up. For the first, I would say first 10, 15 minutes was just nothing. It was just the video feed going. And then all of a sudden they come in, and 2 to 3 minutes later, all you hear is, okay, we will postpone or we will reconvene another time to have another hearing. Really? What were y'all talking about? Right? So it really disappointed me, I would say. That's the feeling I had. I had disappointment. That's what it was. I'm trying to identify this thing. I had disappointment. Kat said in the chat 100%, I was relieved when the hearing ended suddenly, so I didn't feel like I was missing it in real time. Absolutely. It's just not making sense to me. But once this motion came out, I was like, okay, Jeremy, he is trying to really be like, sometimes I've kind of noticed this from lawyers, and maybe I'm looking, and somebody help me if I'm looking at this incorrectly. But sometimes lawyers know that they don't really have something solid at a particular part of the journey of the case. So they'll file a motion to kind of like give it a little bit more time. Also, it shows that they're trying to be fair at the same time. It's like, it's like, let's see if we can pull this, because he tried to get the whole indictment dismissed. The man filed a motion to dismiss the entire indictment. And judge is like, well, we're not doing that. So he denied that off the top. Okay. Off the top. He was trying to explain, or he was trying to convey that he believed that Clayton Stamper was trying to give an opinion about something that he is not a professional in or expert in. He was coming off as if he was trying to be an expert witness. And we read the transcript of the grand jury, which is normally a private meeting, but we was able to get the transcript. We was able to read it. And I'm like, okay, I think I understand where he's coming from. And the judge was like, no. Deny, my boy. Deny. So now we come to this motion to recuse or qualify as judge. Okay. And it says here, comes now the defendant, Sean Mickey Stines, by and through counsel, and respectfully moves this honorable court to recuse Judge Christopher Caron from presiding over the present matter. This motion is made pursuant to KRS, not KRS-One, all my hip hoppers out there, but to KRS 26A.015 and Supreme Court Rule 4.300 Canon 3E, on the grounds that the judge's impartiality might reasonably be questioned. In support of this motion, the defendant states as follows: legal standard for recusal. Through the same statutes that he mentioned, a judge must disqualify themselves in any proceeding where their impartiality might reasonably be questioned, including but not limited to instances where the judge has a personal bias or prejudice concerning a party or personal knowledge of disputed evidentiary facts. KRS 26A.020 authorizes the Chief Justice, when prompted by an affidavit properly certified by the circuit clerk, to determine whether to designate a regular or retired justice or judge of the Court of Justice as special judge. We want a special judge. We think there's going to be some bias going on here, because there is a relationship or there's a potential relationship or some type of knowledge, personal knowledge that we believe this judge has with who? Who is he referring to? We're going to get into that. We already know who it is, but we're going to get into it. In particular case, KRS, I keep wanting to say KRS-1. KRS 26A.020 is vague regarding the authority given to the Chief Justice when making such a determination, and a paucity of case law exists to guide the Chief Justice's decision. However, KRS 26A.015 offers guidance regarding when disqualification is appropriate. The statute provides, in relevant part, that a judge shall disqualify himself in any proceeding where or here he has a personal bias or prejudice concerning a party, or personal knowledge of disputed evidentiary facts concerning the proceedings, or has expressed an opinion concerning the merits of the proceeding. The statute also requires disqualification where a judge has knowledge of any other circumstance in which his impartiality might reasonably be questioned. That's KRS 26A.015-2E. Similarly, the Kentucky Code of Justice Conduct provides that a judge shall disqualify himself or herself in any proceeding in which the judge's impartiality might be reasonably questioned, including but not limited to the following circumstances. The judge has a personal bias or prejudice concerning a party or a party's lawyer. Supreme Court Rule 4.300, Canon 2, Rule 2.11a1. On appellate review of a trial, court's determination under KRS 26A.015. Consistent with Rule 2.11, a judge's bias or partiality is determined under an objective standard from the perspective of a reasonable observer who is informed of all the surrounding facts and circumstances. This is Phillips versus Rosquist, stating that the objective standard inappropriate for measuring whether a judge's impartiality might be reasonably be questioned from the perspective of a reasonable observer who is informed of all the surrounding facts and circumstances. So even though, this is interesting because even though they went to a judge in a different district or in a different county and pulled him in as a special judge, this special judge has a relationship or had a relationship or has had some type of dealing with the judge who was shot and murdered by, allegedly murdered, I would say, because again, there's a trial going on, by Sean Mickey Stines, who is the sheriff of Letcher County, former sheriff. The goal of these recusal provisions is to avoid even the appearance of partiality so as to promote public confidence in the integrity of the judicial process. Then he states case law. While the Chief Justice's determination under KRS 26A.020 is not a review of a trial court's decision, applying the objective standard to determine whether a judge's impartiality might be reasonably be questioned is appropriate. Factual basis for recusal. This is a factual basis now. Now we're about to get into what they call the nitty gritty. Okay. A video from a Kentucky Judicial Commission on mental health meeting from September 12th, 2024 has been brought to the attention of counsel for the defense. Let's stop right there, please. September the 12th, okay, is 4 days before September the 16th, which is the day that Mickey Stines was deposed. 3 days after his deposition, he shoots Kevin Mullins on camera in his chambers 8 times. September the 12th, you have a video where the judge is in a meeting, a judicial commission meeting about mental health. Come on now. Literally 7 days before he shoots Kevin Mullins on camera. Okay? And this meeting is about mental. What is the defense? The defense has always been, in this case, a mental health issue. The California encephalitis issue. The fact that Sean Mickey Stines was showing extreme, excessive paranoia 2 weeks, 1 week before the shooting even took place. We saw on this channel how Mickey Stines, after the shooting of Judge Mullins, he went outside the front door. The man walked outside the front door of the court and walked around the corner. We also saw a little weasel by the name of Michael Clark following Sean Mickey Stines while he was already outside. We also saw Mickey Stines go back into the courthouse after the officers came in to figure out what was going on. He came in and turned himself in. And what did he say? I'll tell you anything you want to know if you get my daughter down here. I just want my daughter. They refused to let this man see his daughter. Now, that is not my opinion. That is the actual facts. We saw this on video. We heard this through video and audio through the body cam of a Kentucky State police officer. Okay? We saw this. They wouldn't let the man see his daughter. No, man. Wait, what are we going to go down there for? Now y'all going to do something to me. Come on, be fair to me now, guys. Come on, be fair to me. Be fair to me. We saw this on camera. Now it's come to the attention of counsel that this judge who is sitting on the bench, the special judge who has been wasting our time, and now that's just coming from me as a content creator. Okay, I want some motions, man. I want some stuff. We need some juice. We need some juice. We need something. Okay. Now it's come to the attention that this man was sitting in the same vicinity, I believe right next to Judge Kevin Mullins. Okay, now, how much they know each other? I'm pretty sure they know each other very well. I'm pretty sure they do. I mean, what other judges know judges, dog? Like, they go to the same parties. They run for the same. They run these campaigns. They donate to each other. We saw that in Fulton County. We saw that Young Thug's lawyer gave a donation to Judge Whitaker before. Judge Whitaker gave a donation to your boy Glanville, Pituitary Glanville. Okay, we already know how Fonnie Willis roll. You see what I'm saying? We already know how she roll. So all of this is very interesting. Okay, the video is dated a mere 7 days prior to the shooting at issue in this matter. The presiding judge and Kevin Mullins are pictured inches apart for approximately 2 hours at the meeting. Upon information derived from the defense's investigator, Mullins' widow is also in attendance and shown in the video. Yeah, this is insane, man. Okay, this is crazy. All right. The presiding judge did not disclose the fact to the parties, despite the close connection in time to the events at issue, leading to an appearance of impropriety. Now, I have to ask a question. Well, before I ask my question, let me continue reading because I got to ask this because I have to be fair. It appears that in addition to the speaking event captured in the video, there is also a companion social or dinner event connected to the meeting in some form. During the video, Mullins reports on his involvement with legislative efforts as well as the Women's with Dignity bills. Mullins also highlights his recent recovery events and expungement efforts in Whitesburg. Mullins then discusses his professional plans for the following week at the district judge's college. What? Mullins then discusses his professional plans for the following week at the college. When discussing this upcoming event, Judge Coran, I don't know how to really pronounce it directly, but we're going to get all of it, appears to nod in approval, like, yeah, okay, yeah, I hear what you're saying there, yeah. The fact that these two men served on this very worthwhile committee is not enough to draw an objectively reasonable inference of impartiality. However, because I was about to ask, I'm glad that he said this in this. I'm glad that this part right here, this whole piece right here, the fact that these two men served on this very worthwhile committee is not enough to draw an objectively reasonable inference of impartiality. I'm so glad he said that because I was going to ask if this was a bit of a reach. Is this a bit of a reach to say because these two men were at a committee meeting that this means that he is being impartial to the case because of that? You see what I'm saying? Nick Starro in the building. What up, though, Nick? He said a me raid. Shout out to Nick. Shout out to Nick. Yeah, man. I always support your channel as well, man. I actually was on your panel one time, I believe, a while ago. So thank you, Nick, for coming through and stopping by. Hey, that's what's up, man. A lot of people coming from Nick saying hello. Everybody put some love in the chat for Nick and his crew. Appreciate you, Nick. Thank you so much for stopping on by, man. This has been, it's a Nick raid. All right. It's a Nick raid. I appreciate it. Earlier we talked about my birthday and Detroit vacation stuff and all that, and now we're getting into this new motion, and I want to go ahead and also play an episode of Court TV. I saw something and I wanted to hear some professionals and hear what you all opinions are as well. But let's go ahead. All the people from Nick, we appreciate you here at Tay Biz Nation. Show love to Nick and the Vikings, man. Show love to the Vikings right now. Let's do it. Let's do it. Star Row. Look at that. Hey, from Nick. Thank you so much for coming through. I appreciate it. I gotta say something to Nick Starro, man. This guy is awesome. Another giant. Another giant, man. Another giant. I was wondering, like, is Jeremy Bartley kind of reaching for the stars on this in this recusal? Because just seeing two judges sitting next to each other at a committee meeting, at a hearing about mental health, it doesn't scream, okay, he's going to be impartial. because he was sitting next to him and all that kind of stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? However, the fact that I can't help but look at the poetism of this. Judge Carone and Judge Mullins at a meeting, a judicial committee commission meeting about mental health, and then the defense is mental health in the case. I mean, you cannot write this any better than it's already being written. Like, seriously, you cannot write this any better. It says here, however, we are right here. There will be proffered evidence that contrasts with the presentation seen on the video. It is difficult to understand how this close proximity with Mullins in both time and distance would not lead the reasonable observer to impute a bias in favor of disbelief of negative statements and the propensity to disallow the same. Now we're getting to the juice. Jeremy Barley is saying, listen, there's going to be some things that I'm going to ask and say in defense of Sean Mickey Stines that's going to make Judge Mullins look bad. And I don't want a judge that's cool with him to be over the seat. Am I getting this right? Am I computing this correctly? Jeremy Barley is saying, hey man, you saw the Taya Adams interview. Y'all know what this is. And shout out to Taya Adams. I miss her. But you know what this is. Hey, Mullins been accused of some stuff when he was a prosecutor and judge. Not only will Mullins' name come up, but some other names might come up too. Possibly a Terry Adams. Who knows? But all I know is, yes, please smash the like button when you can. All I know is that I do not want a judge who saw this man a week ago before he got shot down to be on the seat presiding over this case as a special judge. I don't want that because it's going to lead into some bias. It's going to lead into some bias. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want that. I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to nip it in the bud now and tell you he need to be disqualified because I don't want him on the stand. It can lead in both time and distance. It's difficult to understand how this close proximity would not lead, like the lead attorney would not lead the reasonable observer to impute a bias in favor of disbelief of negative statements. Look at that, negative statements, and the propensity to disallow the same. So basically, he's going to be biased with his objections. He's going to be biased with his want me to come up to the bench if I need to do something, or he's going to be biased with all the things that I may possibly need to dive into as it relates to this case, because the behavior of Sean Mickey Stines has already been seen on video. However, we are now going to lay foundation that the behavior of the judge himself is also a part of our defense that led up to the demise of Kevin Mullins by way of my client. There were some things that took place that Mullins have done, that we know he has done, that we're going to show proof that he has done. We're going to show evidence that he has done. And it's going to be something that the judge that's currently on the stand might feel some type of way about. And if I need him to overrule an objection, instead he sustain it, it's going to be a problem because of his bias. I'm just trying to break it down to how we, how we might talk about it in the hood somewhere. You feel me? Like, bruh, I'm gonna need you not to let this man on the stand. Okay. Now, this is an alleged capital offense in which a judge is the shooting victim. The entire case hinges on mental health. We just said that. There you go, Cat. Look at this right here. I had just saw him a week ago. And he gonna carry that same thing. It's possible to carry that same awe into the case as the presider of this case as the judge. This case hinges on mental health. You're at a meeting talking about mental health. Everybody that we have seen, when we have looked on this channel, when we have looked at videos, when we have looked at body cam footage and interviews, we have looked at all this stuff on this channel. Please go to the Sean Mickey Stines playlist on this channel. You will see a lot of stuff we covered. All the people that was in his chambers, Mullins chambers, all the people that were in the Mullins chambers, the ones who got interviewed, except for Michael Clark. Michael Clark is the only person who was in Judge Mullins' chambers the day that he got shot that did not get interviewed by the Kentucky State Police. Let me repeat that. Michael Clark is the only man, the preacher man, as they call him down there. He's the only one that did not get an interview. He's the only one that the police did not talk to and have it on record. Everyone in that room said, man, Sean had been acting weird all day. It started at the street side grill down the street from the courthouse. Right up the street from the courthouse. He was fidgety. He wanted to talk to the judge. The judge said, we got to take it to the chambers. He said, yeah. And next thing I know, you see what I'm saying? The insanity defense centers on the events of this week. It's literally the 12th of September and the 16th of September is 4 days from each other. On the 16th, Sean Mickey Stines was being deposed by the young lady who submitted the case against Ben Fields. Everybody got deposed by Ned Pillersdorf and Kathy Baxter. She asked the questions, they gave the answers. They had other lawyers there as well to intercede, to mediate. Okay. His deposition is in the Sean Mickey Stines folder that I shared with everyone. If you want to read his deposition, if you got the time, because it is pretty lengthy. He's there in his official capacity to talk about how he did not train Ben Fields properly. He also talks about in the deposition the way he was trained, the way he was grandfathered in. That whole week, he's been acting crazy, paranoid, couldn't sleep, the whole 9 yards. And that week, this judge and Mullins have been talking to each other. This is where Jeremy coming from. The insanity defense centers on the events of this week and what Mr. Stines believed was afoot with Mullins and his colleague, Daniel Dotson. The secondary defense, extreme emotional disturbance, is judged solely from the subjective beliefs of Mr. Stines about the planned actions of the deceased during this same time frame. Had this video been taken even months prior, then appearance would not be so concerning. However, this video creates an impression to the public that there is a bias in favor of his colleagues seated next to him. As noted in a recent order from the court, videos create a strong presumption that is extremely difficult to rebut. By way of example, at the juncture when the foregoing was discovered by the defense, a hearing on bond was set. However, despite the consent of the defendant, the mental health report from the state's own expert has been disallowed as evidence in the bond hearing. Listen to what has happened. Jeremy Barley, let me tell you something. He is a long game player. Jeremy Barley, I said this to you before. I know it was a while ago, but I said this to you before. Jeremy Barley wants to play the long game on this case, and I knew it based upon the preliminary hearing when Clayton Stamper was on the bench as a witness answering questions. The prosecution is like, yo, is that Mullins on that video? Is that Sean Mickey Stines? What is Sean Mickey Stines doing? He's shooting Judge Mullins. Okay, I had nothing further. That's the prosecution. I rest my case already on the preliminary. Nothing further. But until Jeremy Bartley started asking questions about that very same video, and then that's when you start hearing Clayton Stamper say, I heard him say that he was trying to kill my wife and daughter. They're trying to kidnap my wife and daughter. Now, all of a sudden, we have more information. See, they think this is an open and shut case, Johnson, but I don't think so. Now, is it going to have a certain outcome? You bet it will. But what are they trying to avoid the most? They are trying to avoid capital punishment. They are trying to avoid the death penalty. The death penalty is warranted in the state of Kentucky. He was afraid to get in the police car. He was afraid to go down the stairs to the police car towards the back of the courthouse. Everything about Stines was nothing but paranoia after paranoia after paranoia. When they asked for a bond hearing, no. All right, what about the health report? It's disallowed. Why would the mental health report be disallowed when it's basically the embodiment of the case? Oh, you was at a mental health meeting a week before that. You see? While the undersigned is restrained by the previous order from discussing the findings in the report or the contents, our client made multiple revelations to the examiner that fall into the category of evidence that would conflict with the judge's professional knowledge of the deceased. At this point, there has been no legal basis as support for the refusal to unseal the KCPC report. There's no legal basis to support why this was refused in the first place. While that issue is one to be addressed further at a later date, the objective observer would rationally believe there is inherent bias from the video, and this would lead the judge to prohibit this normally admissible report from the coming into evidence. The undersigned has known the presiding judge as a former prosecutor and as a judge, and does not seek his recusal lightly. Oh, Mickey Stines knows Quran. However, the eyes of the world have been upon this litigation. That's a fact. We're talking about it right now. The visual optics in this case must demonstrate impartiality. In other words, y'all gonna look bad if y'all keep them on the bench. Had this very recent meeting and sharing of accolades been disclosed previously, then the evaluation of the circumstances might differ. However, there was No previous disclosure. Timeliness of motion. This motion is filed immediately upon discovery of the facts upon which the disqualification rests as required by Kentucky law. We found out about it today, and we put the motion out today. Like, we are not playing with you. We are doing our due diligence. Recusal. The circumstances described above fall within the recusal provisions of KRS 26A.015 and SCR 4.300, Canon 3E1, as they create a reasonable question regarding the judge's impartiality. Wherefore, the defendant respectfully requests that this honorable court grant this motion and recuse Judge Christopher Caron from further proceedings in this matter. Respectfully submitted, Jeremy A. Bartley and his lovely wife, Carrie Bartley. They are in this together. James L. Cox, and it's verified by Sean Mickey Stines here. He signs it, and this is in the county of Leslie. That's where he is. And there's a notary on here as well, and boom. The Commonwealth's attorney, Jackie Steele, the whole nine. All right? That is the motion to recuse, and refuse your boy Christopher. Now, I want to go to this video here. It's a quick video of an episode of Court TV here. I want to talk about the fact that there is actual video we're going to be able to see, I believe, of the video that they're talking about where they are sitting together. All right. And there's going to be some professionals that's going to be talking about this as well. I want to get their opinion. And I do also want to open up the floor to the audience to talk about this real quick, to get your opinion and your insight on it. I'm going to go ahead and copy the link. Okay. Let me put on here this link is for the purpose to speak on the recusal motion. All right. And I want to know what you think. I want to know what your opinion is. Okay. On this matter. You have to be cammed up and you have to be respectful. No sound in the background if you can. If you have any sound in the background, I may have to drop you down so that way we can all hear what you have to say. All right. But I want to go ahead, and this is open panel. This is open floor. So if you want to jump on, you can. This video is about maybe 8 or 9 minutes. And towards the end of the video, we will open up the floor if you want to. If you do not want to, I'm perfectly fine with that. It is all good. All right. Let's go ahead and check this out real quick.
Jail. One last time. Is there anything you want? Is this anything to do with your family?
Former Sheriff Mickey Stines is trending this morning as his defense team is asking to remove the presiding judge. So in a motion filed on Monday, Stines' defense team claims that Judge Christopher Caron can't be objective in the case due to his close relationship with victim Kevin Mullins, saying, quote, impartiality might reasonably be questioned, according to the defense in their request. Here's what they say. They point to a video that was taken 7 days before the shooting occurred. And in that video, you see Judge Kevin Mullins and Judge Caron just inches apart for approximately 2 hours. Mullins and Caron were attending a mental health meeting with the Kentucky Judicial Commission. So both of those judges there together and sitting close to each other. So Stines' defense team claims that this judge didn't disclose that meeting with victim Kevin Mullins, and that leads to, quote, an appearance of impropriety. All right, so let's get down to it. Should the judge recuse himself? Let's talk about it. Let's bring in attorney Franz Borghardt and retired NYPD detective and the co-host of the Gold Shield Show, Tom Smith. All right, so legally here, Franz, I want to go to you on this part. Is there something here to this motion? Does the defense team have a point? What do you say?
So sometimes we file motions not because we have a point, but to alert the judge or the world that, hey, we know that you guys knew each other and that y'all were colleagues, and we're just putting you on notice that we know that. And I don't expect them to win this. I don't expect it to be a recusal. But if you're defending the guy, and keep in mind, Julie, this ain't a whodunit. So if you're defending the guy, you got to file this motion. You got to file it. And maybe an outside judge from another place wouldn't be a bad idea. But that said, this is not going to be a winner. The mere appearance of impropriety is generally not enough to cause a recusal. But it's a good motion to file to protect the record.
Definitely. Yeah, Franz, you're exactly right. You know, and if you're on the side of the state, or the Commonwealth in this case, in Kentucky, and you are saying, wait a minute, there was no close relationship. I don't know. I want to be very clear. We don't know here at Court TV what the relationship is. So let's get that out. But let's just say for the sake of our analysis that you're confident that this was just a meeting, that two judges were attending, nothing more. Tom Smith, I'm wondering if you ask one of your investigators at the DA's office to go look into how many other judges from that courthouse might have been there too. That's what I would want to know. What do you say, Tom?
Yeah, that's going to be part of it. But Franz is exactly right. You know, the defense has a job to do, and they're going to pull off everything they could possibly do to defend the defendant in this. And this is one of them. Do I expect it to be overturned? Like you said, no. But you're going to cover every base, because here's why. You want it done correctly, Julie. You know, if you're the prosecution and you're law enforcement, you want to make sure all your dots are, your T's are crossed and everything else, to make sure that this conviction stands and there's no grounds for an appeal.
Mm-hmm. Right, Tom, exactly. So I suppose we'll wait and see what the state's response is to that motion. We'll see if they say, look, this was a meeting and nothing more, or maybe, look, stranger things have happened. Prosecutors aren't always aware of these things. So sometimes it's good when a defense attorney brings something, to you that you need to be made aware of, because nobody wants anything coming back, as you said, Tom. So let's talk a little bit about the insanity defense here. We understand that Stines' legal team might be trying to argue extreme emotional disturbance that occurred at this time. And this defense team is writing in this motion that the relationship that the presiding judge has with the victim, so they say, could create some bias in him maybe not letting certain evidence in that may point to temporary insanity. Franz, what do you think about that nuance to the argument?
I mean, maybe the pickle sticks on the wall, Julie. Look.
That's a good saying. I like that.
Right. I mean, look, at the end of the day, sanity or some kind of heat of passion is only going to be this.
Oh, and Franz, we just lost your signal. Tom Smith, it's going to be like Groundhog Day for you. Yesterday, we lost a signal. You saved the day. Today, we're having you do it again. We're going to hire you pretty soon. So tell me, with the temporary insanity, looking at that video we were just looking at, Mickey Stines raising that gun. I mean, what do you say as an investigator? What do you see in that video?
A absolute premeditation, a knowledge of what you're doing. He didn't just walk in there, blast a couple of rounds, and run out the door. This was a conversation. This was precise. Even walking around, like you're seeing right now, making sure he's down, shooting him again, crouching down right at the end. This is absolute a cold-blooded murder that he knew exactly, in my mind, what he was doing.
Mm-hmm. Tom, it's interesting. You're looking at how when you're going to fire a shot, he's firing the proper way. Is he not? I'm not saying this was wrong, but just the way, look at how he holds the gun. He's, it's chilling to look at. Tom, do you think that the jury is going to see temporary insanity when they look at this?
I don't think so, because of everything we just talked about and every point that we just brought up. You can not tell, but you know what I mean, when it's a spur of the moment action and maybe the insanity thing will work. When you have something that is so precise in what you're watching, it's going to be very hard for them to come up with any other conclusion in this, in my mind. Just on the video itself, the video is damning, as you know, but it just kind of tells its own story of what he was thinking and what he wanted the outcome of that altercation to be.
Yeah, it really does, Tom. You're exactly right. Franz, I think we have your signal unfrozen. So I want to give you a chance to weigh in. We were just talking about how chilling this video is. It's, we see him shooting the judge at very close range, taking the time to square up. I mean, using his non-trigger hand to support his other hand. I mean, it's just, ooh. Do you think his defense team can be successful in a temporary insanity defense, Franz?
I think that in this video, it would be very difficult to argue that he did not understand the distinction between right and wrong. He might have a good argument for heat of the moment, heat of passion, depending on the reason he's doing this act. He may have a nullification argument for, hey, this judge had it coming. And I'm not saying the judge had it coming, and I'm not saying that murder is ever justified, but sometimes that's the defense. Is this person put himself in this position, and anybody in this defendant's shoes would have done the same thing. That's a very hard nullification argument.
I'm gonna stop right here. They keep showing the actual video of the shooting, so I'm going to stop it right here. But I'm going to go to another video as well. Hold on, give me a second. I'm going to go to my social media real quick because I have a video on my Facebook that I saved that's going to give us a little bit more detail about what it is that where he was or the judge and Mullins were at. They were at this meeting. They're going to show they could show the video of it. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go. Okay, so let's do this. Volume up here. Let's get the full screen up here. All right. Now, again, the link is still there. If one of the mods can pin it to the chat. For those who wants to come up, shout out to Starfish and Coffee. Saying what up, though. I definitely appreciate you. Appreciate you being on the replay crew. So much love. I appreciate it. So I'm wanting your opinion. I again, I kind of agree in part with the lawyers and stuff like that. I mean, for them to assume that it'll get overturned or whatever, or it won't get overturned or whatever. I mean, stranger things have happened. I'm not trying to plug in Stranger Things, but stranger things have happened. You can never assume what another judge might think. Now, the appearance of impartiality opposed to factual evidence of impartiality where there isn't some actual impartiality is two different things. And just because they're in the same place for the same reason, it doesn't mean that they are that tight like that. All right. So just filing the motion based upon the fact of just look at it, Your Honor. Look at how they're at this meeting together. They're sitting next to each other. They're talking about mental health. And then 1 week later, my client shoots Judge Mullen in chambers on camera in his chambers, which is already rare. Most judges, if not all judges, don't have cameras in their office. Like video cameras, with no sound at that, right? So that's already weird. But the fact that that's happening, okay, and the fact that it's a week within, and then we just got this discovery on this today, and we filed this motion. Like, our case is hinging upon the defense of his mental health. This judge already made some decisions that already appear biased by not allowing us the opportunity to show the mental health report of my client, which is the basis of this defense in the first place. Like, these things it can appear to be impartial to the world and to the media and to those that are spectating, to those observers. And that is a point. Is it enough for a judge to be like, you know what, we're going to overturn this, or we're going to honor this motion? That I'm not sure of. Okay. All right, let's get into this real quick here. I think this I want to go to this. This is a video that I saved on my I have a content folder in my Facebook page. And this is the video I wanted to show right here. I wanted to show the opinions of other other lawyers and stuff like that, because again, I'm not a lawyer, but at the same time, I've been in some trouble and I kind of know how they think, you know what I'm saying? I kind of know how they roll. And so, yeah, we want to know what's going on. So let's go ahead and listen to, this is Annette Levy. And let's see what she got to say about it. Let's see what she covers here on a Crime Fix. So yeah, let me go ahead and play this.
A date for all pending motions.
The special judge presiding over Mickey Stines' murder case is being asked to recuse himself after a video surfaces showing him sitting next to Judge Kevin Mullins at an event a week before Stines shot and killed Mullins.
Sorry, mods, if you're not able to pin that link to the chat, it's okay. Those of you that have the link that want to come up, you can.
In his chambers. I take a look at Stines' request that the judge step aside and the video at the center of it all. I'm Anjanette Levy, and this is Crime Fix. When Mickey Stines shot and killed Judge Kevin Mullins in his chambers in September of 2024, it was absolutely shocking. Security cameras recorded the shooting, and the incident left so many people asking questions about why a sheriff who swore to uphold the law would take out his service weapon and shoot a man he had worked for and a man he had considered a friend. Since that time, Stines' lawyer has said his client was suffering from some mental health problems, and body-worn camera footage from the moments after the shooting shown that Stines was certainly acting oddly.
There's 2 body cams running, Mickey. It's all recorded and there's a digital recorder running. That will be, look, show you that it's running. Look.
Come on now, guys.
No, look, Mickey, we've known each other a long time. Look, it is recording. That one's recording. Clayton has a backup recorder running.
Come on, guys. What do you think? Slow down.
We can't talk in the hallway of the courthouse.
Yeah, there's
no
people
way.
here. We don't.
I mean, there's people in that room, there's people in that room. We can't do that.
So what's the problem?
I'll get another one. I'll put one on me. You want to take blood, okay? But I can't be in the room.
Come on, Mickey. Come on. Is there somebody that you trust other than us that you would prefer to be with us?
Now, Stines was paranoid. There was no doubt about it.
Do you want to talk at all, Mickey?
Earlier you said you wanted to talk about it. Listen, if you don't want to talk, that's fine. I ain't gonna force you to, okay? We're not gonna force you. If you don't want to talk, that's your right. You don't have to.
Yeah.
Raise your rights. Well, and you know that. You're the sheriff. I mean, you know just as much as we do.
Okay.
But it's up to you.
If I can see my daughter in person here
Before you leave. Is that what you want?
at the jail.
At the jail?
Yeah, at the jail, through the screen, on the phone, I want to see my daughter in person. And then after that, I'll tell you everything at that jail, in front of cameras, video recorded.
Where's your daughter at?
Huh?
How do we track her down? Where's she at?
She was at LCC earlier. She was at LCC, I talked to her.
So, now, Mickey, I want to kind of, for your daughter, let's talk about this for your daughter, okay? If she finds out that her dad is being arrested for shooting the judge, and she's in high school, I didn't know how old she was, so I didn't know. So she's in high school, what is she, a senior? That's gonna be hard.
She will want to see me. She will want, come on, guys, be fair to me now. It's all I'm asking.
I get her, that's the only thing I just want you to think about that. How is she 18?
Be fair to me now, guys.
Well, hold on, is she 18?
Be fair to me now.
No, I'm asking you.
Come on, I want to see my daughter in person.
Is she 18?
I want to see my daughter in person.
How old is she, Mickey?
Because if
I do have a kid. I've got grandkids.
I got 5 grandkids. 5 grandkids.
Listen to you.
I just want to see my daughter, man.
If she's not 18, we're going to ask your wife. We have to ask your wife if it's okay. You know that. Is she 18?
Christine and Lashana both said they were both on their way here. They were in here. There was all kinds of people in here just running around, chaotic. So
Okay.
how am I going to tell you what happened?
To the judge?
Yeah. Christine Lashana said my wife and daughter's on their way.
No, you just said how you going to tell us what happened. Everybody's on their own. Chaotic.
It was. I just want to see my daughter.
Just want to see his daughter.
Is she 18? How old is she? If your wife's out there with her, if she ain't 18, we can ask if that's okay. But if she's 18, we just ask your daughter. So that's what I'm getting at. If she's not 18, we have to ask your wife. Do you think they're outside?
Lashana and Christine said they was on their way. Let me talk to them too.
You want to go ask them about?
Get that thing. This is recording. Guys, come on, now, be fair to me now.
Mickey, we're not being unfair to you.
You want to drink water? Yeah, now be fair to me, guys. Y'all gonna kill me.
You hear him saying y'all gonna
Is
kill me?
Mickey's right?
That's crazy.
Since that time, we've learned through court documents that Stines had been evaluated following his arrest, and those evaluations determined that he was in active psychosis at the jail and had been given medications prior to those evaluations. Stines' lawyer, Jeremy Bartley, told me in March of 2025 that his client's mental state could be a major issue at trial.
Well, I mean, so in terms of
Shout out
what
to
the
Kat.
specific mechanism or diagnosis is at the time, I'm going to defer questions on that. But I will say this. There was no doubt to anyone that was around Mickey in the days following the deposition, prior to the deposition, and certainly after the deposition and the days leading up to what you saw in the video, that he had not slept. Rarely, if any, had not slept in days, that his demeanor was completely off. People described him as paranoid and just not acting in accordance with his normal demeanor. Now, again, I don't want to get into specifics. The statute requires that there be a mental disease or illness or defect. I'm not going to get into that now. I'll wait until we hear more from the experts. But I'll just say this: there's zero doubt that the combination of his mental health, which was exacerbated by the pressure put on him because of this deposition, played a role in what we saw. And within that mental health defense, you really have two things. One, which I've said from the beginning for the preliminary hearing, we think sets the ceiling for the Commonwealth, is extreme emotional disturbance, right? Because that's a partial defense. And that goes to, at the moment he acted, did his emotions become so enraged, disturbed, or inflamed that he acted almost, basically out of control. I think it's evident that something happened within those chambers, and we'll get into more of that as the case progresses. But there was a moment at which his emotions, in a worst case for our client, it's extreme emotional disturbance, which would get us to manslaughter. But we believe that there's more, and we believe that that we will put on evidence that he was unable to conform his conduct based upon some mental health issues that were going on during that week.
Now, in the background of all of this is the fact that Mickey Stines and the sheriff's office was being sued by a woman named Sabrina Atkins, who was an inmate at the jail. And one of Stines' sheriff's deputies, Ben Fields, had sex with Atkins in Mullins' chambers in exchange for help getting a GPS monitoring bracelet so she could be out of jail on bail. Fields pleaded guilty to a charge related to the allegation, and Stines had been deposed in the lawsuit days before the shooting. And there have also been allegations that Judge Mullins, who worked with women who were struggling with addiction through the courts, was involved in taking advantage of the women by having sex with them himself. Now, these are allegations. We have not seen any videotapes that are alleged to have existed or anything like that. A special judge, Christopher Corrin, was appointed to preside over Mickey Stines' murder case. Corrin is from Bowling Green, Kentucky. That's about 4 hours west of Letcher County. Judge Corrin will decide several key motions in Mickey Stines' case, including whether he gets bail and whether a change of venue will be granted in the case. The Commonwealth, and that's the prosecution in this case, is asking for a change of venue, and that's actually pretty rare. Usually defendants are the ones asking for a change of venue, but not in this case. Several residents of Letcher County have signed affidavits, including the Commonwealth's attorney for Letcher County, saying they don't believe Mickey Stines or the Commonwealth can get a fair trial in Letcher County. The Commonwealth filed those affidavits in support of its motion for a change of venue. But now Mickey Stines is questioning whether Judge Corrin should be on the case at all. And it's all because of this video. This video is from September 12th, 2024, just 7 days before Judge Kevin Mullins was killed. You can see Judge Mullins sitting at a table during a meeting of the Kentucky Judicial Commission on Mental Health.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our September quarterly meeting of the Kentucky Judicial Commission on Mental Health.
Mullins is sitting there with some colleagues, and then a man sits down next to him, and that man was Judge Christopher Corrin, the same judge who is now presiding over the murder case of Sean Mickey Stines. Mullins and Judge Corrin sit next to each other with an empty seat in between them for less than an hour. They don't speak to one another. At one point, Judge Mullins speaks to the group.
As someone who was actually working on a program and actually experiencing a problem, and within months having that problem addressed, was just very wonderful. Also, I was able to speak quite a bit about Senator Adams's Women's with Dignity Bill 1 and 2. And in all these different pieces of legislation, we were able to show how these particular pieces were able to positively influence and even save lives of our Kentucky citizens. So it was a great opportunity.
Now, this video has led Mickey Stines' lawyer, Jeremy Bartley, to file a motion asking Judge Corrin to recuse himself or to have him disqualified. Bartley quotes the legal standard for recusal, writing, "A judge must disqualify themselves in any proceeding where their impartiality might reasonably be questioned, including but not limited to instances where the judge has a personal bias or prejudice concerning a party or personal knowledge of disputed evidentiary facts." He continues, "The statute provides in relevant part that a judge shall disqualify himself in any proceeding where he has a personal bias or prejudice concerning a party or personal knowledge of disputed evidentiary facts concerning the proceedings or has expressed an opinion concerning the merits of the proceeding. The statute also requires disqualification where a judge has knowledge of any other circumstance in which his impartiality might reasonably be questioned. Similarly, the Kentucky Code of Judicial Conduct provides that a judge shall disqualify himself or herself in any proceeding in which the judge's impartiality might reasonably be questioned, including but not limited to the following circumstances. The judge has a personal bias or prejudice concerning a party or a party's lawyer. So Bartley believes that Judge Coran sitting a seat over from Judge Mullins during the meeting 7 days before his murder could possibly impact his ability to be impartial. Bartley writes, "Had this video been taken even months prior, then the appearance would not be so concerning. However, this video creates an impression to the public that there is a bias in favor of his colleagues seated next to him. As noted in a recent court order from the court, videos create a strong presumption that is extremely difficult to rebut." Bartley wrote that he believes this judge has made some decisions already that may have shown a lack of impartiality. Bartley writes, by way of example, "At the juncture when the foregoing was discovered by the defense, a hearing on bond was set. However, despite the consent of the defendant, the mental health report from the state's own expert has been disallowed as evidence in the bond hearing. While the undersigned is restrained by the previous order from discussing the findings in the report or the contents, our client made multiple revelations to the examiner that fall into the category of evidence that would conflict with this judge's professional knowledge of the deceased. At this point, there has been no legal basis as support for the refusal to unseal the KCPC report. While that issue is one to be addressed further at a later date, the objective observer would rationally believe there is inherent bias from the video, and this would lead the judge to prohibit this normally admissible report from coming into evidence." Bartley wrote that things, in his view, would be different had Coran disclosed the existence of this video much earlier. All right, so to discuss this motion to disqualify the judge in this case, I want to bring in Mark Weaver. He works as a special prosecutor in the state of Ohio, just north of the bluegrass state of Kentucky, and also sits as a judge sometimes. So Mark, reading through this motion, basically, Jeremy Bartley, the attorney for Mickey Stines, is saying that Judge Coran didn't disclose this interaction or this sitting next to Judge Mullins 7 days before he was murdered and should have done so. And so he should step aside from the case. What are your thoughts?
Mark me down as skeptical about this motion. Let's start from the premise that this is not the judge that would normally have a case. This is a specially assigned judge. Normally, when you see motions for disqualification, it's because their regularly assigned judge has a conflict because he lives nearby or knows the people in the courthouse. So we start from the premise that a specially assigned judge should be somebody who doesn't have a conflict. Well, what's the basis of this conflict that they're claiming? He was at a judge's meeting, sitting next to the judge who would eventually be murdered. Now, maybe you could say he was sitting next to the defendant who did the murdering. That might be a conflict, but those aren't our facts here. It's sitting next to the judge who's going to be murdered. I noticed when I watched that video, and your viewers could see it, that there were placards or name cards around the little square about where the judges were sitting. I've been to a lot of these conferences, particularly as a prosecutor. Many times the staff has laid out where everybody sits. And so you just go where your name tag is, your name placard, and kind of assigned seating, if you will. So perhaps they were together because the staff put them together. But simply being at a professional event with the judge who would eventually be shot strikes me as a very weak reason to suggest that there should be a disqualification.
And there was a seat in between them. And
Okay, now how do you all feel about what he said, what he just said? I need to know. I need y'all to talk to me, man. I gotta admit, though. I gotta admit, yeah, you gotta give me more than just they was at the same spot. That's something that I originally was saying. That was the question I was asking about. Is this enough? Like, is this enough concrete reason for a bias? Even though this gentleman just eloquently said that, my mind still went to the fact of, okay, let's swap those two judges for police officers. Now we know that when a police officer gets shot or killed or murdered, that they are brother in arms when it comes to whoever did it, they the scum of the earth. Okay. And we know that a police officer, no matter what the suspect, whether he did or did not do it, just the mere fact that the person involved that may have done it or allegedly have done it is just in the vicinity alone, they're going to be against them off rip until you get more evidence in a trial to say that this suspect actually did not shoot this police officer. Up until then, that police officer is going to hate you, basically. So does this have the same energy, the same feeling when it comes to judges? I personally do not see. And when this man said the name tags are around, or the name plaques are around the table, that is out of their control, right? That is out of their control. Okay, so what if they were sitting far apart from each other? You know, the fact that they're both there, it doesn't mean that Judge Karan is going to have a bias in favor of Judge Mullins' character. You know, maybe he doesn't know Judge Mullins like that. You know, so it needs a little bit more. Now, when it comes to the fact, now this is the thing in my mind. All right, so Didi LaBelle said, in my opinion, no bias. I'm leaning towards that. This is my only thing, though. This is one of the things that I have to look at. In the motion, remember they talked about the fact that this mental health report is the unsealing of it has been denied. Okay. The unsealing of it has been denied. If you went to a mental health meeting where the judge got shot a week later, and the defense has a mental health defense, that's their case, and you're the judge in the middle of it all, and you deny the motion to unseal that report, I can see how that looks sketchy. I could see it. I can see how it looks sketchy. Again, that's why I wish somebody would come up here and talk to me, man, because I would love to hear your thoughts on it. But it appears to be sketchy with that. Like the judge you sat next to, even though he had no idea that tragic event was going to happen to him. Okay. Judge Karan had no idea that Judge Mullins was going to be, you know, shot by his own sheriff. I'm pretty sure he had no knowledge of that. I'm pretty sure Judge Karan, it's safe to say, probably had no idea that Mickey Stines was even ordered to be deposed a few days later. But now that it's all coming to fruition and you have an opportunity to be fair towards the defense's case of the psychiatric report being at least unsealed, so that way the defense can present their case in the most fairest and strongest way possible. The fact that you denied it and kept everything sealed doesn't look good either. However, I don't know if that's because of bias or because there was not enough reason for him to grant that motion. So, but Didi, I'm not too far behind you. I'm not too far behind you. All right.
Empty seat in between them. It doesn't appear that they speak to one another. So, and Bowling Green and Letcher County, I mapped it. They're 4 hours apart, just about 4 hours drive apart. So yes, a lot of judges do know one another, but from the video, I don't see any indication that they did know one another, or that they were like buddy buddy, or that they were even interacting with one another on a meaningful level at all.
Well, I'll give you an example that might help viewers.
Yeah, I'm with her.
At least in Ohio, a lawyer donating to a judge's campaign is not enough to disqualify the judge. That's considered to be part of the normal doing business as a judicial candidate. So when I go to prosecutors' conferences, and I go sometimes twice a year, from prosecutors from all around the state, I will often shake hands. How are you? Good to see you again. How's the family? What's new? Talk about sports, talk about the weather. But then I've never been to their home. I don't know their spouse. It's really just a friendly professional conversation.
Right.
Even that sort of relationship would not be enough to disqualify somebody.
Jeremy Bartley he writes in his motion, the fact that these two men served on this very worthwhile committee is not enough to draw an objectively reasonable inference of impartiality. However, there will be proffered evidence that contrasts with the presentation seen on the video. It is difficult to understand how this close proximity with Mullins in both time and distance would not lead the reasonable observer to impute a bias in favor of disbelief of negative statements and the propensity to disallow the same. And he's talking about, like, basically that he's sitting next to him at this conference. Maybe he's not going to believe some of the evidence at trial where there's discussion about Mullins possibly being involved with the trafficking of these women or taking advantage of these women. That's like the allegation that's been made. That's been the talk, and that this somehow was part of what led Mickey Stines to shoot and kill.
That's not only the talk, also the fact that there are women and some men, but mostly women, who have like ridiculous probation sentences. We saw that Taya Adams had a probation sentence until 2099. Something that you've never even heard of before. You know what I'm saying? Look at this. Never even heard of that before. Taya Adams, her sentence is until 2099. And constantly, and it has something to do with child support, and the child is grown, and she's constantly having to give up money that she don't need to be giving up. So it's that too. You know what I'm saying? Is that too, along with the fact that he has allegedly done some things with some women for some favors himself as well, and allows some things in his courtroom as well too. So
Judge Mullins, his longtime friend and former boss, like that he thought his daughter and wife had been taken, and it was part of this whole thing. So maybe this judge sitting next to Judge Coron, sitting next to Judge Mullins, is thinking to himself, I'm just not buying this.
Yeah, this is all so speculative. It's all so attenuated. I've never been a criminal defense lawyer, but I know they have a job to do. Some of my friends were prosecutors, and now they're criminal defense lawyers. It's fine. It's a perfectly good profession. But I understand that they have to work with the facts in front of them. The facts they wanted to have a video of these two arm in arm at some meeting, smoking cigars and laughing and swapping stories. They don't have that video. They have them sitting at what looks like a very boring meeting. I'm not saying the topic isn't important, but it looks like a very boring professional meeting. And trying to spin that up into some conflict relationship really does strike me as far-fetched.
So basically, this judge, I would think, is going to seek an opinion from someone. Is that how this would work? Would this judge, since he adjourned the prior proceedings, we discussed that, would he go seek legal advice or an opinion from, I don't know, a judge's counsel? What do you think that he would do? And then, he'd have to come back and then look at this, or, the Supreme Court would have to look at it. What would happen?
In most states, there are two steps towards disqualification. The first is a request for the judge to disqualify himself. And the U.S. Supreme Court, out of a case from West Virginia about a decade ago, gave standards for when judges should voluntarily disqualify themselves from cases. If the judge decides that he or she does not need to disqualify themselves, then a party can ask, in this case, I think it's the Chief Justice, that's certainly the way it is in Ohio, whoever appointed that judge, to reconsider that appointment and disqualify the judge who didn't want to disqualify themselves. So it's a two-step process typically. Hey, judge, I think you're conflicted. Would you step away? If the judge says no, then, hey, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, would you disqualify and appoint another special judge? I think that's how it's going to go here.
Mm-hmm. I find it hard to believe that this judge, Judge Coron, is going to go back, review the video, and say, you know what, you're right. I can't be impartial because I sat one seat over from Judge Mullins and may have not even realized it was Judge Mullins at the time until you just brought this to my attention. I mean, that could very well be the scenario. Do you see this Judge Coron saying that? I mean, judges.
No.
Judges, I mean, they're human beings, and they're loath to say, you know, oh, I can't be impartial. I mean, you don't see that very often. That usually comes before the case starts or at the very beginning of the case. That's why he's on the case in the first place. Everybody on this case is specially appointed. The judge, I mean, the Commonwealth's attorney, that's why the AG's office is on this, and not the Commonwealth's attorney for Letcher County.
Yeah, you mentioned in your intro that I've been a special prosecutor in more than a dozen counties in Ohio, and I've received more calls than just those cases. And so at the very outset, when I get a call, hey, Mark, could you please be a special prosecutor in such and such county involving this person and that person? If I know those people and I know that I can't be objective, I will deny the appointment even before it's made. So I have to think this judge would have done the same thing. Oh, what are you kidding? I'm so close with him. We always go out to dinner together and he tells me his life story and all of his secret personal knowledge. I can't be on that case. Well, that didn't happen. The judge accepted the appointment. Didn't have to. The judge accepted the appointment. So I can't imagine that this video, here you are sitting next to each other at a very boring judicial conference. Now you have to get off. I just don't see it going anywhere.
I want to talk just briefly now about the motion for a change of venue filed by the Commonwealth, which is not something you often see. The Commonwealth has now filed a bunch of affidavits from people in Letcher County, including the Commonwealth's attorney, Matt Butler, who is not a part of the case. But basically, all of these people are saying, I don't believe Mickey Stines or the Commonwealth can get a fair trial in Letcher County. The Commonwealth is basically trying to beef up its case, saying, look, we have these sworn statements from residents of Letcher County, one being the Commonwealth's attorney, who I think that's very odd since he took himself out of the case. But what do you think about that, the Commonwealth filing these affidavits in support of their motion?
Let me address that last question first. If a prosecutor steps away from a case, that prosecutor should have nothing to do with the case after that. So that was very curious to me that the prosecutor who stepped away from the case, appropriately so, would get involved by way of filing an affidavit. So that's concerning to me, at least a little bit. The larger point is I read these affidavits. I actually set aside some time to read them. I thought I might need 15 minutes, but each of them is, I think, 3 sentences long. These are what we call in the law conclusory affidavits, where they don't offer any proof. They just say, trust me, I know something, and therefore if you can't get a fair trial here.
There was no survey done, nothing like that. It's just like, I live here, trust me, I can tell you for a fact.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's unethical. What I'm saying is it's really weak tea, if you will. If you had said, I have spoken to 200 people in the last month at Christmas parties, and 150 of them have all said, I have an opinion about this case and I won't be able to shake it. That's at least some evidence. It's kind of curious that you'd be keeping track of the numbers like that. Or if, as you mentioned, a survey, that's been done before. You do a public opinion survey and you present the results to the judge and say, we need to move this case out of the county. This scientific survey says that 2/3 of the people say they could never change their mind. That's the sort of thing. Doesn't have to be a survey, by the way. The law doesn't require a survey, but there needs to be something more than what I call, or what the law calls, conclusory affidavits that say, yep, trust me, I know, can't get a fair trial here.
Yeah, it seemed a little hinky to me.
Yeah, it is hanky for sure. I mean, it's basically just, it's a nothing burger. You know what I'm saying? To do that. Matter of fact, the change of venue affidavit is right here. We have it real quick. Hold on, let me make sure I blow this up real quick, because this is interesting. This was filed on the 18th, by the way, of December, and basically, basically, having reviewed the petition of change of venue, I believe that because of the state of public opinion in Letcher County, neither the Commonwealth nor Mr. Stines will be able to have a fair trial in Letcher County. Like, where did you get that from? Like, where did you actually get that information from? I'm of sound mind, and like, how are you able to? How did you get to that? The petition of like, what on this petition states that there wouldn't be a fair trial there in Letcher. I mean, he was the sheriff of Letcher, right? You know what I'm saying? You're thinking because of the fact that everybody knows Mickey Stines. It's a small community. It's a small town. Things of that nature that, most people like Mickey Stines, and all that kind of stuff. Plus, everybody heard of the case. They probably done seen it on TV and all that kind of stuff. Well, that's everywhere. If you want to use that, that is everywhere too. Like, everybody done seen this case, bro. It's been on court TV. It's been on True Law and Crime. It's been on a bunch of stuff, As a matter of fact, one of the things that I was withholding, and I can share it now because we won't be able to go through with it. But one of the writers, first of all, have anyone ever heard of a movie called "I Spit on Your Grave"? If you heard of that movie, I Spit on Your Grave, put a 1 in the chat. And I'm specifically referring to the early 2000 version. All right, I Spit on Your Grave. Anybody else ever heard of it? This was in 2000 and I think I want to say 12. 2012, 15, 2012. I Spit on Your Grave part. I think it was I Spit on Your Grave. It was like 2010 or something like that. Anyway, the writer for that movie reached out to me months ago because they were searching about this case, and on a Google search, Tabiz TV popped up first and emailed me, and I have emails to prove this. I'm not going to share it right now because we haven't definitively like said we're going to just like not try to pursue it anymore. But we were trying to pursue a documentary to start doing a documentary on this case. And we reached out to Hulu. We reached out to not Netflix, Hulu, Oxygen, A&E, True Crime, Reels, like all kind of different. I mean, you name it, we tried it. I have text messages of this gentleman, the writer. I'm not gonna disclose his name, but the writer of the movie, he has his own production company. He produces documentaries. He also produced movies. He also write movies. And he reached out to me through email, and I thought this was spam. Listen to me, because I'm techie, so I get into my head fast. I'm like, I get into HTTPS protocols and all. Like I get into everything. Like, is this a secure email? Is this like, I get into the encrypted stuff. I get into everything. The TLSs and all that. And we exchanged numbers. And not only did we talk on the phone and text each other, we also video called each other. We also had meetings on StreamYard webinar, like between me, him, and Taya and all that kind of stuff. We were trying to get this documentary going. And so everyone was like, there is not enough exclusivity of this case. Okay. That's what everybody was saying. That's what the networks and production companies were saying, is that although the story is great, and he was able to create like a story document, and it looked beautiful too, and present it to the producers, and they were like, the story is great. You have someone who was willing to participate, because Taya was down with us. That's why I appreciate Taya so much. She was ride or die with it. You know what I'm saying? Although, and she's also fighting her fight. You know what I mean? And in the midst of that, she was still going to be a part of the documentary, you know. And he was able to glean a lot of information from me because not only was I talking about it on my channel, however, I also have motions, I also have other things, affidavits and all this kind of stuff. I got some other evidences that I haven't even put in that folder that I just have for myself of other people that's connected to this, right? And so, because everything that I talk about, everything that I have, I don't always share because I have to make sure that I dot every I, cross every T before I just start talking. And we couldn't get anyone to give us like the bite, like, okay, boom. Now, I believe Netflix, somebody from Netflix has been down there in Kentucky. And of course, because it's Netflix, there has been some stuff that they're specifically looking for. I know what they are specifically looking for. Okay. I know what they're specifically looking for. And the evidence that they are looking for, we know who have it. We just don't know how to get it without it getting to a very dangerous point. This kind of information is very exclusive. It has people's faces on it and all kind of stuff. And we were trying to get this information and we were not able to get it. I was not able to get down there either. So I kind of had to peel back and like, you know what? I'm just going to go to my original bag, which is just covering the case and doing my thing. Okay. That's exactly how I got to it, to the point where I'm at. That's why I was saying, you know what? This case is losing some steam with me a little bit. I'm getting away from covering the case to covering the corruption. And it's like, let me reel myself back because I need to cover the case too. Not just the corruption part, even though that piece is included. And so I had to make sure that we were all protecting ourselves, myself, the producer, and T. So when the producer recently emailed me, like maybe a couple weeks ago, like, hey, even Reels is saying like we want to do it, but we don't have the budget to do it. So it's still possible to get this done, but it all depends on the budget, right? And so there has to be some seeding going on. And so he and I know this is a new year, so he and I, we haven't talked just yet, but we plan on it. I think we planned on at least getting back in touch to try to kickstart this thing off. But that's how this is how well known this case is that everywhere you turn, there's going to be somebody that knows something about this case. There is not there. I don't care where they go in Kentucky. I don't care what county they go to. There is no way you're going to get a group of jurors on this trial that don't know nothing about this case. There's no way. Most of the time, attorneys want jurors who never heard of the case, and they have certain professions, and they got certain things, and they talk about your partialities. They talk about if you are able to do cases that have something to do with children. Is this a case that you can do, or would you be impartial or biased if this case has something to do with, an elderly person? They ask you some crazy stuff to try to get into the mindset of you to see if you will make a good candidate for a juror. You're not going to get 12 to 16 people who know nothing about this case at all, who has no type of bias at all in this particular, unless you have to fine tooth comb the search for this. This is the reason why they always do like a mock jury selection, a mock jury selection process and all that kind of stuff before they even get into the actual jury selection. It's going to be hard to find people down there who don't know anything about this case. You can change the venue all you want. You can change the venue all you want. It's not, I don't see it. I don't see it making a difference in this. Even the producers of major television networks know about this case. Again, the guy that I was working with, and I'm still maybe working with, we went to all of your major ones, all of the ones that really specialize in documentary work. They're like, yeah, we know about this case. Is there anything? They kept asking the same thing. Can you get us something that's exclusive that like nobody knows, like a video of something that nobody has, or a document that's signed by someone in this case that nobody has, or like they was just asking for like that thing. And when we finally came across some type of information, we like, man, we need to make sure we try to hone in and try to get it. Then I had to think to myself, like, man, this is not what I originally wanted to do when it came to this case. I wanted to cover it. I wanted to be on YouTube, cover the case, share an enthusiastic thing that I like to do, which is to cover true crime, things of that nature. And the rabbit hole goes really deep with this case when it comes to the corruption. This corruption piece is ridiculously deep. Not just, again, I know how to get information. I went to school for information technology. The first thing they teach you how to do is learn how to get not just information, but credible information. Credible information. And I'm telling you, there is so much incredible, and I mean this negatively credible. There's so many incredible people in this case. You're not going to be able to turn anywhere to get a fresh jury that has no knowledge of this case, that have no thoughts about this case. And it's going to be very difficult. And this is one of the reasons why I'm like, yo, this is going to be a long, drawn out case, man. And Jeremy Bartley, I want to salute him for one particular thing that I see that he is doing. He is trying, and he said it already in a past interview with the lady that we just saw. He said voluntary manslaughter. Those are the words he used. He does not want Mickey Stines to face a potential death penalty. His thing is, if I can just get this man to be accused of manslaughter, which is a lesser charge, because the charge is first-degree murder, period. That's the only charge on the indictment. It's first-degree murder. That's it. And if I can prove that it's not premeditated and the lesser charge is voluntary manslaughter, at least he won't face the death penalty. He'll just get the maximum of whatever that sentence is. And I believe it's like the max for voluntary manslaughter in Kentucky, I believe it's like 20 years. But this is a capital case. This is a capital case that of a man who was unalived, who is very well connected. Yeah, and that's just the truth. Very well connected. In a lot of ways, that's like, whoa. And the thing is, they do not want. Now I feel myself getting a little serious here. They do not want any type of corruption about these women and men that they have been violating. On my TikTok, there is a 2-part video of a woman that I did an interview with. I had it on this channel and it got taken down. Of her husband going through hell right now because he's trying to escape Letcher County. And the interview was on my TikTok, Tabiz TV's TikTok. It's a 2-part interview. And you will see the interview. And she has documentation that shows that one Judge Kevin Mullins was trying to put $100,000 bond on somebody and all kind of stuff for a mere violation of something that had nothing to do with anything strenuous, not a felony or nothing. Child support, all that kind of stuff. It's a child support case again. And it was taken down on this channel, and I don't know why or how, but it was taken down on this channel. And I was able to upload it to TikTok. It has not been taken down on there yet. TikTok hasn't said anything. I can share it right now. I'll share my TikTok right now. Share my link. Go to my I'll go to my profile and share my link here. No problem. No problem. I need to start putting my social media in my descriptions. Sometimes I hesitate to do that too, but that's the link to my TikTok. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and pin it real quick to the chat. I've got to do it through my phone.
Because of
Let me pin this to the chat. Okay. All right. It's pinned to the chat, my TikTok interview here. And again, I could not. In the first, you're gonna see on the cover of the video, you're gonna see like a newspaper article. That's the first piece. And then you're gonna see the second video of the person I was interviewing. They're smiling. And that is the second part. So go from like bottom up. Like the most recent is the first thing. So you're going to go backwards. All right. And the video before that one is the first video. All right. And I had to put the interview somewhere. Now, again, I'm not a huge TikToker. So I don't have a whole bunch of stuff. But those interviews, that's the main reason why I was doing it, is to put that interview up. Because I had to put it up somewhere. Okay. And I believe I have it also on my X account as well. So if you follow me on X, I think it's still there. I think I pinned it there too. I believe. But so you can see the whole thing without it being broken up. But they don't want this. They don't want this out. I'm telling you, this is not. They know that corruption of some sort is going to be talked about in this case. In this trial, I'm telling you, in this trial, providing that it even gets to trial, God knows when. Once they get a jury selected and everything like that, and they go through the whole rigmarole of that, and once the defense, once the prosecution rests their case, the defense is going to ask some very uncomfortable questions about Judge Mullins, and they know it. They know it. I'm pretty sure the prosecution, I just have a feeling that the prosecution may try to do some damage control by getting some witnesses on the stand that can vouch for Kevin Mullins' reputation, behavior, his patriotism, his service to the community, the whole nine. But guess what? Sean Mickey Stines also served the community as well. And he has a reputation, and he has a group of people that rock with him in not just in Letcher, but in outside counties as well. So this is all going to be like, this is muddy waters we're talking about here. So somebody gonna come out this boy dirty. This is not a case where somebody's skating. Mickey Stines is not skating. The reputation of Judge Mullins will not skate. I'm telling you, somebody gonna come out muddy. All right, this is what's gonna happen. But all I know is they do not want this Mullins reputation thing to come. Listen, enough is enough. Look, when the New York Post said the judge was treating the court like a brothel, dude, yo, that's the headline of the New York Post. And then TMZ puts the New York Post article on their video, on their reels. This case is so muddy, man. And so the piece of the corruption piece of this whole thing is going to be in there somewhere. Now, are they going to put someone like Taya Adams on the stand? No. Are they going to put somebody like Hillbilly Crime on the stand? No. Are they going to put somebody on the stand like Sabrina Atkins? You see what I'm saying? Like, will these people even want to do that? If Jeremy Bartley said, "Hey, Ty, I want you to be a witness, a character witness," or whatever, is that going to help Mickey's case? Probably not. You see what I'm saying? So somewhere along the lines that's going to be mentioned, but at the same time, is it going to stick? Like, this wall is slimy, okay? Everything just sliding off. Nothing is sticking. The only thing that's going to stick is that video of Sean Mickey Stines shooting Judge Mullins. The prosecution is going to show that. Once they show that, they're going to show it again. They already showed it in the preliminary hearing. People have seen it all over the news. It's going to be shown again. After going on the second year, year one is already over. Now we're going into year 2 of this incident. Like, this whole case is just, man. So yeah, he had to file a motion to recuse the judge. He had to do something. The man got to do something. The man has to do something. Jeremy Bartley just can't let his client just go out like that. He still has a job to do. You know what I'm saying? Judge Karan ain't gonna be like, he didn't even want this. He didn't even want the psych evaluation to be unsealed. Like, that's the whole point of the defense case in the first place. That's the reason why they filed a motion to do the psych evaluation, and you granted it. So you granted the motion to do the psych evaluation, but then you deny the motion to get it unsealed, which is the defense's case in the first place. So the appearance of impartiality is there. It can be there, yes. But is it enough evidence of impartiality? No. So this is another waste of time. They're going to deny the motion. I would be highly surprised if that motion gets granted. I'm the first one on this boy covering that, because I don't see it. I do not see it. I do not see it. Shout out again to my man KP, who started off the live with a $10 super chat for you. Another shout out super chat saying, me and Cat 9 Williams been waiting for you to cover this. And he had a laughing emoji because he already know that I got irritated on that last hearing. Shout out to Chill, who became a YouTube member. Of course, she's a mod as well, and that's my wife. So shout out to my wife. Shout out to Cat Not Williams once again with the 5 Tay-Biz TV membership. Tell Cat, thank you. And I had a goal that I put in the chat. If we had 10 super chats for $10, that I would do a Tuesday NFL coverage of after Wild Card Weekend. This is Wild Card Weekend. Tomorrow starts the playoffs. and it's going to be all the way up until Monday. Now, I do not recall a Monday night playoff game, and I don't think they had one last year either. But I'm excited about football. I am so excited about football. I'm telling you, I got my coaching board back there. I got all kind of information about how to coach, about your defenses, I'll be making up plays. We gonna get into it. I'm watching every game. I already know I'm gonna have my opinions and things like that. Hopefully, there's like some post interviews we can do, some post interview stuff to hear the players and stuff like that, and then cover just talk about the sport. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, I can get some other people to rock with me if they got some time to talk about the games and things like that. We can all have a little chit chat about it and do that, man. I think that'll be fun, some fun to do, right? So, and I didn't get the goal. I did not get the goal. The Cat 9 Williams was the only one that gave the super chat, but just because it's Cat, we gonna do it. All right, Tuesday we gonna do some NFL. We're gonna talk NFL. All right. And talk football, which is, again, the game that I so love. She said excited is an understatement. Yes, it is an understatement. I'm telling you, my wife already know, like, when it's Sunday, it's all day. It's all day. When we were, because we had a long distance relationship and we came together, right? And when we were having our long distance relationship, video calls and stuff like that we were doing to stay, to connect it, I had warned her about this. I said, look, when it's Sunday and I live in Indy now, so I get to see the Colts anytime I want, which is like awesome. Then I still get to see, because now Detroit got a lot of primetime games, and plus they will shift over to a Detroit afternoon game. I can see that. I get highlights. I'm like, it's all day though. I'm like, it's not. I'm like, and I'm not trying to hog the TV. It's just all day, So I got 2 TVs. I got 2 TVs. But she'll rock with me though. I gotta give it to her. She'll rock with me. Yeah, Thursday night games. Yes, Thursday night too. It starts on Thursday, then it hits on Sunday, and then on Monday. This is during the regular season. In the playoffs, there's no Thursday night game, because the Thursday night game was the last game of the season for Thursday night. It was the beginning of the last game, the last Thursday game. So last Sunday was the last game of the season. And yeah. So now it's going to be Saturday, Sunday, and then not Monday. And then I'm pretty sure once, we get who loses and who wins or whatever, it's going to shorten up. It's going to be just Saturday and Sunday. And then after that, it's going to be boom, right? So listen, I'm a football fan. All right. I'm a fan of the sport, of the game. You know what I'm saying? None of my teams that I love and breathe for are in the playoffs, but I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I care, but I still love football. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what's up. So the Kiss of Pink say, KP say, the question is, does she watch too or just be in the room? She watch. Now, she loves Seattle is her team. Seattle is her team. And when Seattle playing, she all in. She loves Seattle. I don't know why she loves the Seattle Seahawks. She's from Connecticut. you're from Connecticut. And then you move to Maryland, and you're not a Ravens fan, but you're a Seattle. That's West Coast. It makes no sense to me, but she loves Seattle Seahawks, and I genuinely think it's just because they jerseys is out cold. I just believe the fact that the Seattle Seahawks got some out cold jerseys. She love their colors. Like, it's probably it's a lot of that. It's a lot of that, dog. So, but definitely when she's in the room with me watching, it's the Seattle Seahawks is playing. When they're not playing, she's in the room, but she's not as attentive, right? Until this is where my craziness come in. I'm watching football and I'm watching a play that got messed up by the quarterback or messed up by a play call, whatever. I will start pausing and rewinding like NFL film and start breaking down what's going on to her. She doesn't even know what I'm talking about. Neither does she care. All she does is give me her attention. And it's the sweetest thing. And then she give me her attention. I'll be like, you see what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, she give me the same thing that guys give women when they tell stories. What? You don't say. Really? Get out of here, right? And then she going about her business. And then I put it back to the live. Right? So that's pretty much how that goes, dog. But she let me rock out. I start like when I see something that on the screen that's like super irritating me with the defense, especially, I start getting my clipboard and I start writing down, like drawing up the defensive play and everything. And I'm telling her, yeah, this man is the mic, and the mic is doing this and that, and the wheel is blitzing, but the mic is supposed to cover the flat. And I'm telling you. And she just be looking like, what? Oh, okay. So and then she does like try to learn a little bit, but she don't retain the information. She just learns a little bit, and then boom, let me express myself, and then that's it. Cause I ain't got no guys, ain't no guys in here. You know what I'm saying? It's just me. So, you know what I'm saying? And so when I do, and so my fellows from Detroit, they're just Detroit fans, right? But they're not football fans. Like now my boy JB, he'll watch some games. Like sometimes me and him be on the phone watching games together. You know what I'm saying? We be like, dog, you see that? Whatever, right? So that's cool. Shout out to my boy JB. Now, my boy Rollo, all he care about is Detroit Pistons, Detroit Lions, Detroit. He don't follow the game like that and all that kind of stuff, right? So, and that's cool. But he is a basketball fan for sure. He loved basketball. So Rollo, my boy Rollo, he watched basketball like how I watch football. You know what I'm saying? Even though I ain't got none against basketball, but all I care about is the Pistons when it comes to basketball and the OKC Thunder. And the Thunder won the championship last year. I was cool with it. For the simple fact that Russell Westbrook and KD was there, and I love the energy of that team. And as a matter of fact, they're former Seattle Supersonics team, which is kind of ironic because my wife is a Seattle Seahawks fan. It's kind of crazy how the 6 degrees of separation situation just happened real quick. That's wild. But yeah, but that's how he is with basketball, how I am with football. So I'm mainly the football guy out of the three of us. And I'm mainly the football guy between me and my wife. And I'm just mainly the football guy. So I'm just on an island a little bit. But there's a bridge to my island. And every now and again, they come on over to my island and visit. And then after a while, they're like, okay, he's going a little bit crazy with the football. We're going back on the other side of the island, on the other side of the bridge. So that way he won't go crazy. And that's just like how it is, man. So it's been like that for a minute. So all that to say that I thank God for my wife, man. She does a wonderful job handling my fanatic of football. So shout out. That's all I can say, man, because man, it does get bad. It does get bad. All right, so again, we're gonna see each other on Tuesday, man. It is what it is. Shout out to Kat Knott Williams, because she is the reason why we're gonna have the Tuesday NFL coverage. We again didn't meet the goal, but it's all good, man. If Kat Knott Williams already gave 5 memberships, and Kiss It Pink came through with the 10 and the 5, and then Chill came with the membership. They're like, come on now, hey, I got to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna have some stuff prepared. Again, I want to make sure I grab some like post interview and some post comments and stuff like that. Also, since we're gonna be talking football, I gotta cover the Colts. I gotta cover the Detroit Lions. Recently, the Detroit Lions reached out to Mike McDaniel about becoming the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. Okay, now it's very interesting. I'm not totally mad at that. Okay. I don't care what nobody say. Mike McDaniel is an offensive like juggernaut mentally. Like the man know the game. He knows the game. You know what I'm saying? And so, see, people forget the season where he went scorched earth on the Broncos and had like 72 points. It had like off like over 1,500 yards. or almost 1,000 yards in one game. Like, remember that crazy game where he went scorched earth? Oh, I mean, he made Sean Payton look goofy. That's the worst loss Sean Payton had ever suffered. Ever. The worst loss he had ever suffered was from Mike McDaniel. KP said, how you feel about Matt Ryan being in the running for president of the Atlanta Falcons? I think it's a good idea. I honestly do. Matt Ryan is he's another one that knows how to put pieces together. The year that he came to Indianapolis to be the quarterback for the Colts, he was able to maximize all the talent around him. You know what I'm saying? And that was in the beginning stage of like Michael Pittman Jr. being great. You know what I'm saying? And we still had Mo Alley Cox with us and all that kind of stuff. We still had a squad. You know, this is when Jonathan Taylor was breaking out and leading the league and rushing and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And so we was in the hunt for like the playoffs and all that kind of stuff. And we got to the playoffs with, I think, Phillip Rivers one year, but then that didn't work out because we lost. I think we lost in the wild card with Phillip Rivers being our quarterback. That's back when we had Frank Reich. Frank Reich came from Philly when he won the Super Bowl with Doug Peterson. And that's the year that Nick Foles beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl with the Philly special. So yeah, I definitely think Matt Ryan would do a good job. I think it would be a good opportunity for him to do that. He played for Atlanta. He knows the organization very well. He knows the owner very well. I think he and the owner will have that same thing that Jerry Jones had with that. What was that coach? Forgot the coach's name, man. He was there for like 10 years. Hold on, I'm about to get it real quick. Jason Garrett. Remember the years of Jason Garrett being the Dolphins coach? The Cowboys coach. He was the Cowboys coach for like 10 years. And for some reason, I think it's because of the fact that Jason Garrett played for the Cowboys. But for some reason, Jerry Jones just believed in him. He just believed in him, right? You know what I'm saying? And so I think the owner of the Falcons have that same vigor for Matt Ryan. Like, he just knows that Matt Ryan would do the right thing. I would have gave Raheem Morris another shot. He was almost able to win the NFC South, so I would have gave him at least one more shot, right? But I understand why they departed from Raheem Morris too at the same time. So, I understand that. Chill, stop it. Thompson, okay, now you're gonna get him started because he will talk sports all night. Don't do that. Don't listen to her, man. You listen to me, man. Don't listen to her. All right. I know it's almost 10 o'clock. Don't worry about it. We talking football now. Okay. The man asked me a question and I wanted to give him a full answer. All right. Oh man, let me break the monotony on this. Let me go ahead and get up out of here, man. Yo, it has been real. It has been real. It has been real. It has been real. Look, said wife is the boss, bro. Look, it's been real. I am so happy to be back, man. I'm so happy. Happy New Year to everybody. Once again, I did not get a chance to do that. So happy New Year to everyone. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you want to go ahead and be a part of the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you have any type of content suggestions or you want me to do some reaction videos, I'm just going to start doing those more this year. go ahead and email me at taybiztv@gmail.com and just put in there, hey, I want to know what your reaction would be on this, and just send it to me, and I will go ahead and do that. All right, I'm going to do reaction videos this year. I'm gonna be doing my thing. All right, I'm a little bit more involved. I'm gonna be spacing out myself a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? I already talked about that, so definitely want to make sure that you all know that your boy is focused on getting back to business. All right. In the meantime, in between time, this your boy Tay Biz. Make sure you love each other. Make sure you love your enemies as well. I'm your boy Tay Biz. Peace.
No stress, no biggie. Baby, I'm just too jiggy. Better know I brought that with me. Case they get too iffy. Baby, don't stress, don't sweat it. Put it all on my daddy. Know how I'm coming. And they know what we had. Run around through that left side, low end. All of mine need more wins. If you got beef, don't come out. My young hitter might go in. Uptown GN. Working all through my weekend. Hoping these don't show out. Cause all of my hitters too deep in. With the boy, I'm so seen. Ain't worried about long as my money and my green. Baby, I ain't got work tomorrow. Tell me what the business is. Ain't about no club hop. I'm trying to start some businesses. Shorty, you thought it was, they better know it's not that. Talking all that online, they knowing that it's not fake. Sliding through my hood, I make maneuvers like a Uber, baby. Got a 10-year plan, these can't tell what they doing lately. And I'm way too clean, I'm Listerine, I thought they been knew it. All in my lungs, I got my red cup full of that Henny fluid. Young middle Mac, I'm swinging that leg, I'm banging that do or die. And I ain't that bleedly before I get crucified. Living in my bloodline, this place in my family tree. How the they pressed, I did my best out of what they handed me. Straight out of that country, know my shawty dick as human air. And I need not mention no extensions, that's human hair. Boy,